Let's hurry it up. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. President Trump is asked at the White House how soon until he moves on from Russia peace talks.
No specific number of days, but quickly. We want to get it done.
Fox's Alex Hogan.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, during this visit to Paris, France, said that Washington could walk away from efforts to bring the war to an end if there is not clear progress being made. During his time with European leaders, Secretary Rubio explained that President Trump feels strongly that he has dedicated a lot of time and energy to ending the war. Without new progress, the president will move on and focus on other important matters. Now, in Ukraine, in the latest series of Russian scaled-up attacks in recent weeks, Russian forces launched a massive drone attack on the southeastern Ukrainian city of Dnipro, killing at least 3 people, including a child, and wounding dozens of others.
President Trump was speaking at a swearing-in event for Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Dr. Mailman Oz.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
Dr. Oz there with Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And the Trump administration today releases 10,000 pages of files about his father, Robert F. Kennedy's assassination in 1968. Sirhan Sirhan was convicted of the murder. Some people think he was framed or put up to it.
As the Attorney General for President Kennedy, RFK was known for prosecuting his war on the mafia. Sirhan was sentenced to death and commuted to life, claimed he shot the senator for supporting Israel in the Arab-Israeli war. Kennedy was father of now Health Secretary RFK Jr., who was 14 at the time.
Fox's Therese Crowley. More JFK assassination files were released last month. What was once the federal government's main COVID-19 information page, covid.gov, is now filled with content blaming the pandemic on a Chinese lab leak and criticizing former President Biden's pandemic policies. A short day on Wall Street because of Good Friday. The Dow down 527. America's listening to Fox News.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Our weather is quiet right now, but a very active stretch coming up right through Easter Sunday. This evening, temperatures in the 70s. It's windy. It's mild all night long. Partly cloudy skies, the low 66. Friday, partly sunny, windy, and warm. Be a couple of showers, couple of thunderstorms around the focus late in the day. So anticipating a lot of dry time, 83. Friday night, rain and thunderstorms around. Some could be strong to severe. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
Nearly 2,000 years ago, during the sacred week, the living Son of God entered Jerusalem in triumph. Soon after, the Savior of mankind, who brought truth and light into the world, was betrayed, arrested, and tried, beaten, and nailed to a cross and crucified. For our sake, he gave up his life, and as the very great Reverend Billy Graham once said, God proved his love on the cross. When Christ hung and bled and died, it was God saying to the world, I love you. Those are beautiful words from a great man, Franklin, right?
President Trump delivering a message this Holy Week, a little bit earlier in the week, about what Easter and the Easter week and Holy Week is all about. And I know a lot of you are recognizing that week in some way, shape, or form. Today is Good Friday, and we're happy that you're here with us on this Good Friday. The president has a lot of things to juggle, of course. And I think that it's impossible to look at everything that the president has on his agenda for his term, for his presidency. I think it's impossible to take in the resolve that he has and the guts that he has without really bringing it back to that day when he was shot. I think that it's apparent to me at least, that his approach to these things that have to do with a greater power than any of us, I think he takes it a little more seriously. And I think that this Easter, it's nice to hear him read those words. I know he's not, riffing when he's talking about the persecution of Jesus Christ and the promise of the resurrection that took place 2 days later, plus the one that is to come for all of us. I think it's really important to not miss the mark to talk about that part of this presidency in the midst of all of the things that we're talking about throughout the course of pretty much the first 100 days that are upon us. Trump has campaigned over and over and over again on the things that were important to him because of how he listened to you. This is the distinction that is so foreign to the people on the left right now. To the Democrats on the left right now, you have it's the images, the visuals of watching the senator from Maryland go and lean into Abrego Garcia in this. It sure didn't look like if it's an El Salvador in prison, might be a better time than some of the places that you and I spend our everyday 40 hours a week or whatever it might be in. Looking at this nice dining table, water glasses, multiple plate settings, multiple glass settings, and they're leaning in with nice linens on the table. Is this where Abrego Garcia was sent to? Is this where the senator got him to? To have a conversation about bringing him home. That's what the senator continues to champion for. We've seen the memes on social media. We've seen them push over and over and over again, bring the Maryland father home. And we know that El Salvador is his home. And this is the visual that you have that the Democrats wanted. I mean, that's the thing that's blowing my mind today is the attempt that was made to get this photo opportunity for Abrego Garcia and the Maryland senator to be sitting next to each other at this table. The implication there is that we're able to see the empathy and the effort that is being made on the Democrat part to push back against Donald Trump, to push back against the deportations that Donald Trump has made a top priority of his purpose as being the president of the United States. These are things that Donald Trump promised he would do in his campaign. These are the manifestations, the reality, the tangible returns that voters got when they said, do I want Joe Biden / Kamala Harris and what they're promising to offer? Do I want the open borders that they invested their time in? Do I want the free flow of people into this country that aren't being vetted? Do I want that to continue in the United States, or do I want an alternative? And Donald Trump didn't just offer an alternative. He offered a stark contrast to what the Democrats didn't have to tell you they were going to do. It's what they were in the process of doing. And deep in the process of doing. The Democrats have very consistently told us that the border was secure, told us that the border wasn't a problem. And then all of a sudden it got a little bit closer to the election and a little bit closer to the election, a little bit. And then all of a sudden you have, we had a bipartisan bill on the table and the Republicans wouldn't pass it. And you and I both know that the bipartisan bill, penned in part by a Republican senator from, I believe, Oklahoma, said, this is how we can streamline the process of the people coming here. It wasn't about stopping people from coming here. It was about making it smoother, making it a simpler process to bring these people in and maybe have them documented as they're coming in. But it wasn't a stop sign, don't come here. It wasn't the legal pen to paper iteration of Joe Biden's policy on most things, which was just don't. Donald Trump doesn't come in and say, we're going to vet these people. We want everybody to come here. We want everybody to be here and live in a kumbaya scenario. That's not what he said. He said, we're going to go get the bad guys. And we're going to get them out of our country. If you want the bad guys gone out of our country, we're going to get them and we're going to deport them. And we're going to get them out of there with the power that exists in the executive authority of the office of the president of the United States. We're not afraid of it. We're not afraid to push the limits on it. We're going to do everything we can, every inch of our executive authority. We are going to put into play to make America safe again. And then Americans said, we'll choose that. Yeah, we like that. The Democrats can't figure out how wrong they were on their message, that the actual core of that with which they are trying to push on Americans is being repelled by Americans. They don't want what the Democrats are offering, and they just can't get it. They are tripling down on this idea that there is some sort of love manifestation and hand-holding thing that Americans want to be a part of by bringing these people here, and they're putting all of their eggs in the proverbial basket of Abrego Garcia. It's something to behold. Senator Van Hollen, to me, I feel like he had to have drawn the short stick here. For him to have to go be a part of this photo op, the photograph of him sitting across from Abrego Garcia, if it's not a net loss for them, it's a net wash. Is it valuable to the Democrats, the operatives that want to have a unifying message? It is. But it is as valuable to the Republican side of the political aisle to see that image and to know that this is what the Democrats are investing their time, your tax dollars, into making sure that people look at this and say, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I voted against. What are they doing? There's nobody really that is better spoken on these issues than Stephen Miller. And watching him, as the children say, cook, when he's out there trying to explain to the media that understands exactly what's going on. The media knows what is going on here. But they're trying to use gotcha trap questions to keep you and me from being able to see the hardcore legal truth that exists. And Stephen Miller is, I really feel like it's the oxygen that he breathes to get these dumb questions from the media to put the ball on the tee so he can respond.
Sean, we've reached a point in American politics where we have one party led by President Donald Trump that fights for Americans, and a second party, I guess led by AOC, that fights for illegal aliens. But not just illegal aliens, criminal, wife-beating, terrorist illegal aliens. 2 immigration judges, as you said, found that he was a member of MS-13, as did the arresting police department here nearby in Prince George's County. On top of that, we have, of course, the protective order filed by his wife, alleging horrific, multiple instances.
There were 2.
Yes, of extreme, violent, physical abuse. And then on top of all of that, he's an illegal alien and a member of what has been designated as a foreign terrorist organization. You have the entire machinery of the Democrat Party using all of its power, not to fight for lower costs, as President Trump is, or better trade deals, as President Trump is, or lower taxes, as President Trump is, but to fight to bring this illegal alien with all those horrific crimes and allegations and history against him back to the United States, where he can do what? He can commit additional acts that threaten the safety of the American people. This is the biggest, sharpest contrast you will ever see between the priorities of President Trump and the priorities of the Democrat Party.
And it's amazing to sit here and watch it unfold, and you scratch your head and you go, I mean, why can't they see this? Why don't they get this? Why don't they understand what the American people, we've already spoken on this. We already have said, we're not voting for this. We're not in support of this. We don't want to see more of this in our country. In fact, we want to see less of it. I did anticipate. You could go back and check the tapes. I said, we're going to see images of children and old people being deported from the country. And it's going to be sad. And the left is going to seize on the opportunity to show that and make that the story. But you have to remember that the people who put us in a position at that time to experience these images, that's Joe Biden and whoever the heck was running the presidency at that time. Fox News has the article up right now, and it shows the image of Senator Van Hollen leaning in and talking to Abrego Garcia, who's wearing the most 55-year-old dad shirt I have ever seen in my life, and a Kansas City Chiefs champions hat or something like that. He's just sitting there being your average. I mean, honestly, like, he's more Midwestern than Tim Walz right now. I'm just here to tell you that. And the Fox News report here says the White House released a split screen image overnight to underscore the stark contrast between where Republicans and Democrats stand on illegal immigration. One image featured distraught angel mom Patty Morin being comforted by President Trump in the Oval Office. Morin's daughter, Rachel, was savagely beaten, raped, and killed in Maryland by an illegal migrant from El Salvador in 2023. The other image showed Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland sitting and talking with deported illegal alien Kilmar Abrego Garcia in El Salvador. And the White House post on this issue simply said, "We are not the same." And when I spend time trying to figure this out, scratching my head and trying to wonder to myself, what in the world are the Democrats doing? I really think that the White House kind of summed it up for us there. We're not the same. We don't want the same things. We don't understand each other because we aren't working towards the same goals. Donald Trump wants to make this country safe again and make sure that the people are invested in the idea of the greatness of America and how they can support it. And that doesn't start with people coming here breaking the laws to get into the country. And with the long list of things that this individual Garcia has done, he doesn't appear to be one of those people who's invested in the greatness and the future of this country or the people around him, with the allegations and the restraining orders that his wife had against him for beating her. I understand there are some legal complications that the Trump administration put into play when they did this, that the suggestion that the deportation wasn't done by the books. I understand that. I hope the Trump administration learned their lesson there. I also understand that the Trump administration is supposed to willfully facilitate the return of Garcia if El Salvador wants to turn them over, and they don't. What I don't understand is why the Democrats think that that is the winning issue. And the fact that they're so blind. Folks, it's the easiest thing in the world right now. What's the price of eggs? They're out of control. Still out of control. Yes, Donald Trump's been in office for a few days short of 100 days. Eggs are still too high. You know that, and I know that. It's something we're living with every day. It's Easter weekend. You'd think that there'd be a focus on talking about issues that actually affect the American people in a way that isn't, let's bring the MS-13 gangbangers back home from their El Salvadoran prison. El Salvador, where they're from. They don't get it. And if they get it, they're trying to distract from what they know, from what you know. And are they good at it? Not right now. They're miserable failures at it, which is why you see so much flailing, so much anger. The YouTube poll for today is, will you dye eggs this weekend? Yes or no? We know the price of eggs is up. Is that going to affect your interest in the Easter egg tradition of dyeing those eggs? We never really make a big plan of it in my house, but it seems like it's happened a few times in the last few years. Try to get the nieces and nephews over, the cousins get together and do it possibly. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to do it, but we want to know if you are. When we come back, we're going to speak with Joe DeVito. He's going to join us. Of course, he is a regular panelist on Fox News' Gutfeld. He's a writer. He's a comedian. He's our friend. And Joe DeVito will be with us next. Don't go away.
You got a choice, go make some noise. Don't ever let them tell you who you are.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Black umbrellas in the pouring rain. A Sunday morning coming down, amazing grace. Lift those tear-filled eyes up to the sky. And as the flag flies, say goodbye tonight. We're gonna raise them up.
The Diamond Shop, you find them online at thediamondshop.net. I want to talk to you about diamond jewelry. In-stock diamond jewelry is on sale this month of April. 40% off all diamond in-stock jewelry. Make sure that you stop by and save on something very beautiful for a special someone. We've got Mother's Day coming up. People are looking to pop the question. Maybe you want to see what kind of diamond jewelry is there available for you to save on. They also are extending the sale 30% off all in-stock jewelry all month long. So you get 30% off anything in stock. You get 40% off in-stock diamond jewelry. And you can add that VIP bonus if you go online to thediamondshop.net. You can sign up to become a VIP. They have perks throughout the course of April, which includes receiving a free travel jewelry case with your purchase of $100 or more. They also have through tomorrow, out with the old and in with the new. Make room for new spring stock. Red Tag merchandise will be up to 70% off. VIPs with an additional 10% off Red Tag merchandise, including Bovado. Find them online at thediamondshop.net.
Happy Passover.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I hate to see you cry, lying there in that.
Let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans, the allegations are baseless. The allegations are nothing more than a revenge tour. And as you mentioned, my office was successful in securing a $454 million judgment against Donald Trump and others for exaggerating the value of his assets. He engaged in a pattern and practice of fraud. And the interest is accruing each and every day while the case is on appeal in the First Department.
Well, there you have Letitia James, and I don't know who could have seen this coming. Letitia James now being sued by the Trump DOJ. I guess mortgage fraud. It's pretty wild. If you haven't been following this, you've seen Letitia James. If you haven't seen her yet, she seems to be rattled a little bit by the is turnabout fair play? I don't know. Let's ask somebody who's out there in New York and understands maybe a little bit more about the goings on. Joe DeVito, our friend, writer, comedian, and a regular panelist on Fox News Gutfeld, who will be at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles, May 8th through 10th. And you need to get your tickets now. stlewisfunnybone.com. Joe DeVito, welcome back. Good to have you.
Annie, happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Big 41.
Yeah, they asked if I wanted to come out to jump out of the cake for you, but there's a little gluten problem, so I had to pass.
They wouldn't offer to get you gluten-free for a cake to jump out of. Oh man.
No, we're on a budget.
Budgets are tight. Yeah, I can agree with that. Let me ask you the question about Letitia James, and if is this something people are taking seriously in your neck of the woods in New York? Because when I look at it, it does look like revenge, but then when I see the things that are being filed against her, I'm like, well, it's kind of maybe sounds like you did it.
Yeah, well, it goes to show that villains aren't what they used to be. They used to be a lot smarter. And here she is. She's essentially getting the whole thing that they made up against Trump. Does she have to get busted for the exact same crime? I mean, there's not even a level of creativity there. So, it was always a case based on nonsense. And it's very rewarding to see that she is facing serious trouble. I mean, I believe this is a federal crime because she's in different states with it. So very fun to see the revenge dish served cold. So yeah. I'm enjoying to see where this goes.
We're speaking with Joe DeVito right now. Go to joedevito.com to learn more about where he's going to be. Joe, we had this conversation a little bit earlier in the week, and we were talking about whether or not Donald Trump is petty. And I was like, I think he is petty, but I think I like it. What are your thoughts on that? Is there a pettiness to Donald Trump?
Absolutely. And it's hilarious. It's one of the things that makes it like he just can't let things go. And that, he's so insulting to the people. But look at what the Democrats are giving him to work with, that they're getting to a point. I mean, I know if I'm writing for Gutfeld, we're running out of metaphors to say, it's like they supported a wife-beating gang. Oh, no, they actually did that.
Yeah.
What's the argument in favor? Like, well, you have to bring in these people, because they're beating the women, Americans won't. That's why we have to bring in. I mean, come on.
Is it still funny when it's true? Does it become less funny when you come up with that joke and wait a second, that's actually true? Do you just have to pivot, or do you go in even harder on it?
I don't know. Sometimes you just turn the camera on them and let them speak. I mean, even the images, and this guy down in El Salvador, he's not even MS-13. He's like MS-15. He's off the chart. And they show him with that senator. What are they on vacation together?
Yeah, it looked like a lovely meal. Like an all-inclusive.
I thought the whole thing about men don't want to go to prison because you're afraid of what's going to happen to you in the shower, and those two are at brunch together. You don't get gayer than that.
We're Joe DeVito with us right now. He will be at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles, May 8th through 10th. You can go to stlewisfunnybone.com. The Trump administration has done some funny things. I think today the thing is if you go to the government website that used to give you like the steps to handle COVID, it now just explains how COVID came from China. So they just totally flipped the thing. And it's like, I feel like they're sitting around a room and they're like, what if we did this? And they're like, do it, go on. Are you for all of this stuff that kind of makes a mockery of all the things that the left held dear for so many years?
I think it's really funny. It's really funny. And I think that after what we were forced to what they tried to make us accept as reality for the past 4 years, I don't see how they can call out what the Republicans are doing and say it's inappropriate. I mean, look at who they wanted us to think. They kept telling us Joe Biden was in his right frame of mind. And I'm sure you saw the clip the other day where they trotted him out for that. Yeah, I don't know if you call it a mumbling engagement, but when he started talking while the music was still cranked, and you watch that and you think, we're actually watching a man lose each of his senses every time he's in front of the camera. So now he doesn't even hear. He just comes out like a wind-up toy. So yeah, I think it's great that they're just sticking it to them. And I think you can't ignore it. The Democrats have turned into the people they pick to put to the forefront. They've turned into those women who write letters to serial killers in jail.
I guess that still happens. What is the allure there? What is the attraction to that?
I don't know. It's like whenever I see someone hugging a pit bull and they're like, I can change him. It's like, no, I don't think so. Even if you have a brunch meeting with him in El Salvador and you dress him like he's a Trader Joe's employee, it's still, we know.
I said earlier today, he looked more Midwestern than Tim Walz ever did with his like plaid cut off or short sleeve shirt. And that, I mean, we're Kansas City Chiefs fans here, but he was wearing a Kansas City Chiefs hat in El Salvador for a moment. Well, like, did he have that hat in prison with him? Did the senator from Maryland walk up and be like, I'm going to need you to wear this button up and this Chiefs hat? That'll do the trick. Yeah. It feels very Tim Walz-y to me.
Oh, much better than Tim Walz, because at least this guy knows how to use a gun. Tim Walz almost shooting himself in his Elmer Fudd photo op. So, yeah, this guy, I don't know. I don't know how you pick more loathsome people for them to champion. And they act like, you say, first they came for the gang-banging wife beaters. Yes, good.
Yes, we did.
That's who you should come for.
What do you think about the people? It's very popular on social media to be like, is this what you voted for? And then everyone's like, yeah, this is exactly what I voted for. The Democrats are so out of touch. They don't get it. But then you see them doubling down on these types of things. Is there a way for the Democrats to pivot in time, maybe for the midterms or the next presidential election? Is there an issue that you see brewing out there right now that the Democrats might be able to seize upon?
I don't know. The way they're going, I'm waiting for them to come out in favor of cannibalism or something, because they just, even, they keep trying to create the myth of the regretful Trump voter.
Mm-hmm. I don't know a single one.
I don't know a single one. I have a friend who is in a business that relies, unfortunately, on a lot of imports from China. And I was talking to her, and she's very upset. It's affecting her business. She's not sure what's going to happen. And I said to her, would you change your vote? And she laughed. She said, of course not.
Yeah.
So the idea that, again, we have to look at the alternatives that they're putting up are becoming more and more unpalatable. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes I get concerned that maybe Trump is trying to do too much too fast, but these things are all interconnected between crime and immigration and the economy and the tariffs. I don't know. I wonder how the Democrats would probably flip if he said he was putting a tariff on fentanyl coming over the border. They'd say, well, now we're in favor of that.
We're speaking with Joe DeVito, joedevito.com. Also coming to the Funny Bone at the Streets of St. Charles. It's a great venue, great place to see these wonderful comedians as they make their way through St. Louis. May 8th through 10th. Tickets are available at stlewisfunnybone.com. You brought up Joe Biden and his mumbling speech that he provided. We've heard, Donald Trump has talked a lot about the auto pen thing, and he was asked recently, I think it might have been, was it with the Rachel Campus Duffy interview, possibly, like who was behind the auto pen? And Rachel, I think, asked him, do you think it was Jill? And he said, no. I'm wondering if you have any philosophy on obviously Joe wasn't managing the presidency. How do you think that worked?
I don't know. I don't even think it was an auto pen. I think it was using maybe like a spirograph or something where Maybe they just tied a pen to his leg and let him run around for a while, and that counted. I don't know. Was he even capable of a thumbprint at this point? Does that even show up? The man's turned into a hologram. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of people who say that that Obama was still the one behind the scenes. I think it's probably those not even cabinet officials, that people that are so deep into the government. They don't even have the name recognition. But we do know that it certainly wasn't Joe Biden, and it wasn't Kamala Harris. Thank God.
Yeah, she still finds her way to the top of the list of potential nominees for the next go around. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez continuously finds herself at the top, especially if Kamala is not involved. And she peaks, the only one in double digits at like 10%. I think that's kind of worrisome if you're in the Democrat Party, of course, but Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez does seem to be going at least mainstream in the Democrat Party right now. Do you think that she has the longevity to maybe actually make a presidential run?
Well, she has picked up Kamala's mantle of adopting strange accents when she addresses a crowd. Where when she saw her this past one, I don't even know what that one was called. Was that drunk Sofia Vergara? Like, what was she? She's going to be speaking to them in Klingon soon. And let's go on record. She probably wasn't a very good bartender either.
I have to ask you about Katy Perry and Gayle King.
Yes, please. It's made history.
Yes, this is history. 10 minutes. You know, I have said this. I've only commented on a little bit, but I was indifferent to the whole thing. Like, okay, that's a cool opportunity if you want to do something like that. Very cool opportunity to get the chance to do something like that. You land and you're like, wow, that was cool, and then you go about your life. But Gayle and Katy Perry and the crew took it a different way and imparted upon us what they wanted the world to do next.
Yes.
Your thoughts?
Yes, I think the whole thing is a Jeff Bezos psyop. Okay, it's his plan to make women think that something lasting for 10 minutes is impressive. And Gayle King, I'm an astronaut. Yes, you are. You are an astronaut. Hey, you know what? I flew from JFK to Palm Beach and I sat in seat 13F. I'm a pilot.
Do you find it ironic that they put an all-women crew on a ship that they didn't allow them to fly?
Well, this is the thing. It's not a crew.
Yeah.
They were. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have the same ring if you say all female cargo.
It's kind of what it was.
Even
go ahead.
Even William Shatner did the first one, and when William Shatner landed, he didn't say, "I'm Captain Kirk."
Would you take up an opportunity like that? 10 minutes to go up in space or whatever. Would you do that?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like I think everyone would have enjoyed it if they said, "Hey, it was this really cool experience. I have a different perspective on Earth." And then if that's what they said when they landed, it would have been a nice thing to show, like, "Hey, this is incredible that this is possible," because it really was just essentially a commercial for Blue Origin. But they land and like we have defeated the Galactic Alliance. What are you idiots talking about? I think it set back the cause of feminism because we're all talking about Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Lauren Sanchez, and there were 3 women who have actual accomplishments, and I'm too lazy to look up who their names are, and I don't think anyone else can name them either.
Joe, you make a great point. Even the woman who was in space for 9 months, who like just existed up there and then came back and went right back to business. To me, it's not that they did it. It's just they came back and they thought that they had changed the course of future history. And I haven't seen anybody take it seriously, really, other than them. It's pretty ridiculous.
Oh yeah, the astronauts, Curly Moe and Shemp.
Joe, it's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. We can't wait till you're in town here in the Funny Bone at the streets of St. Charles, May 8th through 10th. Some tickets are still available. We want to pack that house for you. stlewisfunnybone.com. Will you come see us when you're in town?
Absolutely. Always have a great time stopping by and harassing you guys.
We love it. We'll get the cake, gluten-free. Take care, Joe. We appreciate
Enjoy your birthday.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. JoeDeVito.com is the website. You can check out where he's going to be, when he's going to be there. And I really encourage you, if you've never been to a show, to a stand-up comedy show, I think there are a lot of people listening right now there's like a 25% of your brain that thinks, I think I might enjoy that. But there's 75% of your brain and body that goes, I don't want to go through the process of getting there. Scrap that. Buy your tickets right now. stlewisfunnybone.com. You will have a wonderful time. It's affordable. It's fun. The streets of St. Charles are amazing. Have dinner, grab dinner, then go to a comedy show and just enjoy the medicine of laughter. Lots of laughter with Joe DeVito. We're always happy to have him here. All right, when we come back, The Bee or Not the Bee with Ryan Wiggins, Wiggins America, next here on The Annie Fry Show.
Turn off your tears and listen. Pain throws your hope
This
to
is The Annie
ground.
Fry Show.
Love ties the
Find the
whole
podcast,
thing
on-demand audio, and
around.
more at 971talk.com/Annie.
It won't all come the way it should, but I know the heart of life is good.
Real estate needs, when you're exchanging real estate, buying, selling, whichever part of that, maybe sometimes both, transaction you're involved in, you want to make sure that you have an expert, somebody who is a bulldog, but is a nice bulldog, somebody who you want to be able to ask questions for, know that when they give you advice, that you're getting honest advice, that you're getting the truth so that you can prepare your home for the best top dollar sale in the right amount of time for you. When you reach out to the Didamore Group at 618-531-4652 or the Didamore Group at thedidamoregroup.com, you're going to get paired up with the number one team in the number one office in the Metro East. The Didamore Group has 50 plus years of experience in buying and selling here in the Illinois side of the river, and they serve the Missouri side of the river as well. And guiding you through this process is what they come to work for. It's their full-time job. They are passionate. They are dedicated. And this is the best part, honestly. They are super fun people. You'll love spending time with your agent at the Didamore Group, and you'll know that they are giving you everything they got, and you're going to have a happy transaction at the end. You'll be recommending the Didamore Group to your friends. 618-531-4652, 618-531-4652, thedidamoregroup.com.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate, paid for by Bayer.
Today's YouTube live chat poll is about Sunday. Are you going to be dyeing eggs this weekend? It's a yes or no. Let us know how your family celebrates Easter and leave a comment there as well while you're in the YouTube chat. You find it by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. 1242. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Friday afternoon, it's a bummer that Fish Fry Fridays are over, but on this Good Friday, we'll still have a Reardon Roundtable. Jay Duker, former state senator Jeff Smith, and Brad Young all on the panel. It starts at 3.
The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
Wanting to start again. Do you
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screens, but no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's still a chance for you? 'Cause there's a spark in you. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just on the night, like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a
I love this song so much. It's such a great song. Katy Perry had an opportunity here, and she pooped all over the opportunity to go to space and like make it kind of part of her thing by overinflating it. I wish she wouldn't have, because it's a really cool opportunity. I think a lot of people would love the opportunity to do what they did. And she just stepped all over the headline, stepped all over the story. Happy Easter weekend. Happy Good Friday. If you recognize Good Friday, like I do, I think most of us here do. We are asking on the YouTube live chat poll today. So if you go to YouTube, pull it up on your phone app. You've got YouTube on your phone. Just pull up the app, type in Annie Fry, Frey, and you'll see there that when you pull up the live broadcast, the poll is going to pop up in the live chat, and you can tell us if you're going to dye eggs this weekend, yes or no. Here's one other way. I'm getting more and more emails about finding the live chat poll, which is exciting because y'all want to participate in it, and frustrating that I can't make it more easy for you to find. If you go to AnnieFryShow.com every day at AnnieFryShow.com, the current live broadcast video is there. If you pull it up, you can just click on that video. It will take you directly to the live broadcast that you can watch on YouTube. And then the chat will be present right there as well. We're going to speak with Dave Murray in about 20 minutes from now and just get the Easter weekend weather update. I know tonight I've heard people say that rain and storms are supposed to start at 3:00. I've heard it's supposed to be more like 8:00. Probably depends on where you are. But let's talk to the man, the chief meteorologist here for 97.1, Dave Murray, at the start of the 1:00 hour. Plus, we'll take your questions, any type of questions you have in the YouTube chat for our next question segment. And at 1:25, we're going to speak with Mailman. She's the deputy assistant to the president. And by president, I mean of the United States, Donald Trump, and senior policy strategist about the Title IX lawsuit happening in Maine right now. Excited to get a connection again to the White House. And we wanted to make sure we gave them the opportunity to speak with you here on the Annie Fry Show. So we'll do a little next question throughout the course of the 1:00 hour, the 2:00 hour as well. Get those questions in. Let's get to B.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins. The B or not the B.
All right, a bunch of news stories, some of them true, some of them fake news. You will have to tell me which is which according to the headline, and then I'll read the rest of the story. First one, Democrats worried Trump may not have China's best interests at heart.
That's a B.
That was pretty fast.
That's the B.
That was pretty fast. All right, yeah, it's the B. Democrats took to the media to warn the American people that they were getting worried that Trump may be failing to make the choices that are best for China. Quote, I'm not sure he's taking China's future security and stability into consideration, said Senator Adam Schiff. I'm so used to saying shifty Schiff. These decisions, he's making a show troubling regard for what's best for China, and that's not something we're used to here in Washington. Next one. California mandates homeowners install wheelchair ramps on porches for disabled burglars.
Sounds like a B twist on a real story. I'll say B.
Yeah, I'm with Annie on this one. I think that it sounds like a real story, but the B has put their little twist on there. So I think it's for the burglars that gives it away.
I will triple down and say it's the B.
You are correct, and you are exactly right, Brad. It is for disabled burglars that gives it away. The mandate, expected to be quickly codified into state law by the California legislature, will order all homeowners and landlords throughout the state to install porch ramps by the end of the year. Quote, by the time 2026 rolls around, all homes will be accessible to the burglars who need it most. Unquote. And then a new quote from Governor Gavin Newsom. Who are we to deny an intruder access based on their disability?
Continuing to really stay down the middle. Diplomacy, it's his thing.
At some point, I'm like, when are they going to do this to houses? Because they haven't yet. And it's not for burglars, but at some point you're like, is the government going to start mandating this kind of stuff for every house at some point? Anyway, next one. Minor league team, and by the way, I need audio for this. Minor league team scores 3 runs on a bases loaded walk.
Real.
Yeah, I kind of gave it away by saying there's audio.
Breaking.
Have you seen this, you guys?
I don't think I have.
No.
So a minor league team has scored 3 runs on a bases loaded walk. They say in baseball, you need something new. You see something new every day, and nobody's ever seen this one. Here's the audio of this legal maneuver.
The 3-2 runners go very high. Ball 4, another bases loaded walk, and the Isotopes have taken a 3-2 lead. And now 2 runs have scored as the catcher threw it back, and now a throw to third is high. That gets away, back on his feet, and 3 runs have scored. All on ball 4.
Not sure we've ever seen that before, but the question was, is the ball in play when the catcher goes to throw it back
Oh, heck
to the
yeah.
pitcher?
You can steal second on a walk.
And there you go. That was
third or
what
home.
people were
You just
debating.
got to make a play.
All is live.
Who's debating that? What level was that?
Minor leagues.
The Isotopes,
In
I think,
minor
are
league-
AAA.
AAA, yeah.
Minor league, they know that.
I'm saying the internet was debating it.
Well, that's because the internet.
the umpires called it for sure. It was
Of course,
3
the
runs.
ball is live. I mean, if you go to like what would you say, middle school? I don't know. It might be sooner now. I remember when I was in middle school, I had some friends that were boys, which is different than boyfriends, and I would go watch them. Yeah, well, I know my middle school integrity is on the line there. He would steal second every time he walked.
Yeah,
every time, and they knew he was going to do it, and they couldn't throw him out.
Middle school?
Yeah, you have a nice solid jog to first. As soon as you go to round, pick up speed, you're at second base, and they can't throw you out. So you just go.
We actually
every time.
That feels kind of bogus at that level to me.
They throw to second, they overthrow it.
Yep.
You're scoring.
We ran that play, and we usually did it with a runner on third. So
Middle school. Go
the
ahead.
idea being that the runner who rounds first will get into a rundown and stay in a rundown until that runner scores.
The Cardinals do that.
That's not they're taught to do that. That's not bogus in middle school anymore. But I guarantee you go to an 8-year-old unless they don't allow it at that.
I don't know. I think of middle school as 12, and like it's really
That could
12
be
to
6th grade.
14.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, now everything's so much more ravagingly competitive than it was in the 90s when I was going to school. But yeah, that definitely is okay to do.
Next one. King Charles reminds subjects that Christianity is special because it's like every other religion.
Sounds real.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Because it's like every other religion, it's special.
Yes.
It contradicts
That's the
itself.
headline.
Yeah, I think it's real.
I do too.
Man, you guys are so negative about everything. It is real. Here's a quote from his Easter message to the UK.
Uh-oh.
Quote, the love he showed when he walked the earth reflected the Jewish ethic of caring for the stranger and those in need, a deep human instinct echoed in Islam and other religious traditions in the hearts of all who seek the good of others.
Oh my
That's not what Christianity is. It's not about seeking the good of others.
He did not even really get close here.
It's because he doesn't get it.
No, apparently not.
Who wrote it for him? That's what. There's no way he wrote that himself, though, right?
I
just reading a
have
piece
no
of paper,
idea.
right?
He's still accountable for it,
Yeah,
though.
No, I agree.
He's actually the head of the Church of England.
Oh, really?
Yes, the king is the head of the Church of England.
The article concludes, the special thing about Jesus is how he was just like Islam and other religious traditions.
No.
Are you serious?
I mean, that's pretty much what that paragraph says. I don't know what the rest of the message, I don't think it was a really strong
If
message.
that's the headline, then I can't. It's not like it's going to get much better from that point. It's probably just going to be further dissecting and discussing that point.
Right. Okay, those two were real. This one
is not.
B.
Yeah, I'm going B on this one. I'm going all
This,
in.
you didn't let me
Really
finish.
BabylonB.com.
This one is
Ryan.
also real, maybe.
False.
Nice.
That
You
also
don't
is.
know? You don't know? Democrats call for an individual court hearing for everyone on earth to prove
B.
they aren't American citizens.
B. B. I can get my real ID and I can prove my citizenship now.
According to Democrats, every human on the planet Earth has the right to an individual court hearing following due process to prove that they aren't American citizens. Quote, there's no way for us to know that all people on Earth aren't Americans if they don't have access to a fair American trial, which in this case means an individual court hearing with a sympathetic federal judge.
I was just going to say.
Give it 10 years and this will be a real story.
Yeah.
Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen explained, literally everyone on Earth could be an American citizen with all the rights of American citizens unless it is shown in an individual court hearing that they are not. That's just habeas corpus. You're right. That was not real.
Thank
All
you
right.
for clarifying.
Tell me again. Now, name of the game is the B or not the B. So tell me if you think this one is the B or not the B.
Thanks for not foreshadowing
B.
this one.
That is correct.
Play the music.
We've never done it this
what's
way.
the story?
It's so much easier.
You have such a flow.
A woman is an adult human female, rules UK judge that looks suspiciously like Matt Walsh in a powdered wig.
Oh man. It was real until the Matt Walsh part, and I remember seeing that, and I saw it because Matt Walsh tweeted it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the B, although that story, other than the Matt Walsh part, is true. Though no one could be sure, several British citizens in attendance stated that the justice's gruff demeanor, full beard, and awful British accent were all reminiscent of a certain
Just kept
Matt
saying
Walsh. Known to the court as Lord Beardface, the presiding judge had repeatedly asked the legal counsel for each side, "What is a woman?" Throughout the proceedings, court reporters stated that Lord Beardface appeared unimpressed with all of the answers given.
B.
Play the music. All right. Same thing with this one. Is it the B or not the B? Republicans vow to get really serious about cutting spending in like 20 or 30 years.
That's a B.
That's the B.
It's
basically
sad.
real, but it's the B.
It is the B. Quote, "We are committed to reining in federal spending sometime," Speaker of the House Mike Johnson told reporters. "We campaigned on promises to our voters that we would bring fiscal responsibility back to the federal government, and we will, probably a couple decades from now, maybe 3 decades. We remain focused on making good on our promises eventually, probably."
Sort of.
They sound confident.
Sort of, kind of. B. Is that the last one?
That is the last one.
All right. Thank you. That is the B or not the B. And you can always listen to the full segment if you missed it by going to our podcasts. You can also go to andyfryshow.com/podcast, or wherever you go get podcasts, just type in Andy Fry. We'll pop up there. When we come back in the next hour, we're going to start taking your next questions for our Ask Me Anything segment right in the middle of the 1 o'clock hour. We've got Mailman on with us. She's the Deputy Assistant to the President of the United States and Senior Policy Strategist. And we're going to talk about the Trump administration's continuation of fighting for fairness when it comes to girls and how they compete. Strangely, how they can be protected from men who want to undress in bathrooms with them. Weird flex. Like Ethan said, in a few years, we'll have headlines that say these crazy things. We are here right now, just different headlines. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This could be the number 1 tax saving strategy for your retirement savings, and it's hidden inside IRS tax code section 1.408A-4. Discover what it is and how you can make your money go further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by advisors from financial and tax architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis, and you'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing Social Security, paying for health care, and more. And they do it for free, but bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are a few openings left for classes this month, so register now by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
Here's how good Andrea's sauce is. I used to hate mushrooms, and the first time I ever had a grilled portobello mushroom that was grilled like a steak with Andrea's sauce completely changed my mind. And now I eat mushrooms as often as I can, because with them kind of marinated in the Andrea's sauce, they almost taste like a steak if you get a really good one. You can get one of those at the restaurant itself. Andrea's is in Fairview Heights, O'Fallon, Illinois, and a grilled portobello mushroom in Andrea's steak sauce is a great appetizer to a great steak, all of it in Andrea's sauce, which is what makes it so unique. A large tenderloin is what I get, 12-ounce filet mignon that cannot be beat. It is so big and cooked to perfection by the chefs at Andrea's with Andrea's steak sauce. Get a side salad, get baked potato with it. It all comes with it, so the a la carte stuff doesn't apply here. Everything comes with your meal. Highly suggest you visit Andrea's this weekend. Go to see their menu at andreas.com.
Take me out to my TV on FanDuel Sports Network. Yeah. Watch me some dingers and RBIs. I'm just glad they have my local team live for its root for the Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. Cardinals games, Chip and Brad, the birds on the bat. Did I mention they have the Cardinals? Stream now
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Survival Stories. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. Students at Florida State University spending their Good Friday reliving how they survived the campus shooter just yesterday. Owen Girard thought it was just construction sounds, telling Fox.
We dismissed it immediately. And next thing you know, you have all of these students running at you, yelling that there's a shooter.
Law enforcement shocked that the suspect's mom is a deputy sheriff. Fox's Eben Brown.
Students are being allowed to return to residence halls and other buildings to retrieve their belongings at Florida State University in Tallahassee following Thursday's campus shooting, though many people are expected to be away from the campus due to the Easter holiday. All victims are said to be either stable or improving. Police say the gunman is also in the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. That suspect was shot and wounded by responding officers. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
The National Archives is releasing the first 10,000 pages of the RFK files on the senator's assassination by Sirhan Sirhan in 1968. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard tells Fox about the red flag she's spotted.
There are other documents there. I mentioned State Department cables that showed different countries were sending messages to each other around Senator Kennedy's assassination, saying that he had been assassinated, but that was before he was actually killed.
President Trump ordered the declassification on the RFK, JFK, and MLK assassination files to answer some enduring mysteries about the motives and world government agency involvement. Sirhan said he shot Senator Kennedy for supporting Israel in the 1967 Arab-Israeli War. The Supreme Court will hear oral arguments next month in President Trump's bid to end birthright citizenship. His executive orders blocked for now. America's listening to Fox News.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
What up, fellow Gen Xers? Elizabeth Banks here. As the original Latchkey kids, we took things into our own hands, like house keys and video game controllers. And now it's time for us to do it again, because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to vaxassist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Our weather is quiet right now, but a very active stretch coming up right through Easter Sunday. This evening, temperatures in the 70s. It's windy. It's mild all night long. Partly cloudy skies, the low 66. Friday, partly sunny, windy, and warm. Be a couple of showers, couple of thunderstorms around the focus late in the day. So anticipating a lot of dry time, 83. Friday night, rain and thunderstorms around. Some could be strong to severe. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're a homeowner, it's time to upgrade your windows with Window World. Mark Cox here. I am a satisfied customer. I love the windows they put in my house, and there's a reason they're ranked number 1 in the number of windows sold in this country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. They have that lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And in over 20 years in business, they have improved the look and the thermal efficiency of over 76,000 customers in the greater St. Louis area. Window World is now offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. And I think the customer service sets them apart from the rest of their competition. And they have an excellent track record with the Better Business Bureau. They've also raised a lot of money, over $3 million for local and national charities. So be sure and check them out. Call them at 314-993-1800. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. You can also go to windowworld.com.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game, stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, we're the home run hitters you need. Morgan & Morgan, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Build monthly.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back. Happy Good Friday to you. As we are looking outside, it's lovely outside right now, but we know that the weather might be a little rocking as it tends to be. It seems like mid-April, this isn't really a surprise. We always have to be on our toes, especially when you might be planning some family get-togethers. Of course, Easter egg hunts ensuing throughout the course of the weekend. What is the weather going to be like? We wanted to get Dave Murray, the 97.1 chief meteorologist, on here to give us a little bit of a picture of what that might look like. Dave, welcome back. Happy Easter weekend to you.
Thank you. Happy Easter weekend to you, too.
Well, tell us what we have in store for us here in the St. Louis
area. All
area.
right. Let me do a quick setup. What's happening, there's a cool front that's going to come through St. Louis. That will come through late tonight, and then it's going to stall out across southern Missouri and southern Illinois, get stuck. And along that front, there's going to be little waves of low pressure that come along. And each wave is going to bring rain. So it's not raining all the time. These are not all day, all night events. There could be some thunderstorms that could be strong, but it's mainly a heavy rain situation when it is raining. And I see 3 batches of rain. Timing's really tough on this because the front's not through yet. But the first batch will be with this front. And that is going to be tonight into Saturday morning. So there's a window of probably about 6 or 7 hours. There will be some thunderstorms. Some could be strong, possibly severe, but the timing may not be great for that here in the immediate St. Louis area because it will be nighttime. Doesn't have a lot of punch once the front gets through, and that's where a lot of the action is going to be. But it will be a heavy rainmaker. So that's number one, tonight into Saturday morning.
When you say
Then
tonight,
there's a break.
is that like we're retired to our homes? Is that later in the evening, or is that evening plans for Friday might be affected?
I think we have to look at it that evening plans are going to be in play, but most of the heavy rain is going to be late tonight. But I don't want to set it up that the evening's going to be fine because I'm not convinced it's going to be. I think there will be some thunderstorms developing.
Okay.
Then there's a break. The second batch is late Saturday night, and that looks like probably after 10 or 11 o'clock at night into early Sunday morning. Sunrise services could be a bit in question just because I don't think the rain is completely out of here. That's also some thunderstorms, but it's also some heavy rain. Then another break, and a lot of Easter Sunday is going to be rain-free with the exception of first thing in the morning, and then the third batch comes in Sunday night, let's say 5 p.m. until about midnight. I'm a little concerned about that there could be some strong to severe storms, and there will be the potential for some very heavy rain. So those are the 3 waves of rain that I'm looking for. Rainfall as a whole, it will all depend on if your particular home gets under a heavy thunderstorm. But we should all see at least 2 to 3 inches of rain out of this before it's all done. Some spots could see 4 to 5 inches. So the small streams and creeks are going to go up and down very quickly. As far as the larger rivers are concerned, I don't see any problems on the Mississippi, the Missouri, or the Illinois, but the Merrimack River Basin will be having some problems because all that water has to go somewhere, and it's into the Merrimack River. So that's the big river is probably another concern. But the Merrimack River Basin will be the concern. It's a weekend to stay up to date on the weather. There's going to be dry time. A rule of thumb, once the rain ends in your neighborhood, you probably have about a 6, 7, 8 hour window of nothing before the next wave moves in, and the next waves will typically last about 5, 6, 7 hours.
Sounds to me like
that's my rule of thumb for it.
That makes sense. And it sounds to me like if the rain is going to be out Saturday morning, if people aren't absolutely traditionally tied to the Sunday Easter egg hunt, that it might be less wet to fit that in Saturday. Will it be sunny? Will it be warm enough to do that?
I think the afternoon will be okay. I'm a little concerned that I don't want to push it through early Saturday. I think it's going to have to wait a little bit. It could be as late as noontime on Saturday. Now, unfortunately, the problem is that we will have had heavy rain. Mm-hmm. So the fields and the grassy areas, around your house, apartment complex, whatever, you might be having those around the church. It's going to be sloppy. And so that's that, Easter egg hunt. I've always remember growing up, we had great Easter egg hunts in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You buy all these beautiful dresses and little suits and cute shoes. And then it's like, I always try so hard not to be like, don't do this, don't do that. It's like supposed to be this really fun event. And then it gets all wet and green or muddy or whatever it might be. Well,
look at it this way. For the kids who are getting all dressed up, it's probably a one-time event because they are going to get muddy and they're going to grow.
That's right. That's right. Well, I think what you said there, stay close to the weather, pay attention out throughout the course of the weekend is the key here. And we'll watch and see. People need to follow you on Facebook. You always give great updates there. Dave, thanks for the time. Right. We appreciate it. Happy Easter.
You got it. Anytime. Happy Easter.
Take care. Bye-bye. But that has been something that on kid number 4, I am a lot better at whatever. Kid number 1, you want the picture perfect memories. You've put all this time and effort, and you have this like mental vision of what all of this is supposed to look like, but you don't have the real life experience to know what it's really going to be like. And the journey between your perfect little, Kodak moment pictures, which does that even mean anything to anyone anymore? Kodak moment, to reality. That's the struggle journey, but boy, it's better on the other side. Did you guys hunt? You said yesterday you hunted Easter eggs.
Yeah, hunted them growing up. It was a lot of fun.
You said you went to church on Easter. Did you have to get dressed up?
Yes.
Tie?
Yeah. Tie, yeah.
Even as a little?
Yep. Yeah, especially as a little. My mom loved dressing us up.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then she would take a bunch of pictures, but not until after she did the little thumb thing where she licks her thumb and wipes the whatever off of your face.
What did you have on your face?
I don't know. It was probably breakfast.
Gravy. I stopped buying my kids not expensive, but like I stopped investing. It is expensive because everything's expensive. Mm-hmm. You got 4 kids and you want to buy dresses for each of those kids. You can't buy 3 dresses for cheap. My son is 15 and man size now. And if I buy him a new outfit, it's man size and it's man cost. And I quit investing in that. And now I buy them coordinating athleisure that looks very springy and bright. And this is a picture I have. I'm going to show it here. Let's see. What can I show on the YouTube screen? Well, you can see this. This is from last Easter, and they all have hoodies. The littlest had a little dress. It's probably like less than $10 from Walmart or something. But they're going to wear that so much more.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to wear that all year round, a hoodie, a nice pair of shorts. And I felt like it was better to invest in that. And the pictures look great because they're very colorful. And they still look nice for church, of course. But I shifted my focus. Yeah. The pictures still look good. Do you guys buy outfits for the kids for Easter? Ryan?
We don't. I don't know that we ever did when I was a kid, and I hate to say that because I could be very wrong that they were buying us nice clothes, and
well,
I don't
if they
remember
bought it
it
for you, it wasn't for you, really.
It wasn't for me. But it's funny because we're talking to Dave Murray just now. I remember this couple days, 18th through the 20th. It was probably 2 years ago now. It snowed those days. Do you remember that?
Well, my birthday is usually where I cut off winter, and it doesn't ever get cold after my birthday. It might get chilly at night, and I've had snow on my birthday multiple times, and it's right in the middle of April, so it doesn't. Yeah, I remember that pretty significantly. One year it snowed on Easter Sunday. It was like warm in the morning. I mean, maybe 60s, maybe even 70, and it snowed by dinner time. I remember being at my grandma's house. We were eating dinner, and it was snowing these heavy, thick, wet flakes. And it was like, what in the world? And I think by the time you woke up the next morning, it covered the ground. By the time you woke up the next morning, gone and warm again.
It's hard to gauge things on Easter because Easter moves around so much. But
yeah,
but I do remember these days thinking, wow, I can't believe it's snow. And it was enough snow that I've got pictures of my kids sledding in our backyard. But then it was gone, by a few hours later, because that's the way April is.
We're going to speak in the next segment with Mailman. She's the deputy assistant to the president and senior policy strategist. She is there working in the White House. And we're going to talk about the Trump administration's, their DOJ lawsuit against Maine. You remember when the Maine governor was in some press conference? I can't even remember. Do you remember what it was for?
It was a meeting of governors. It was.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It was that big meeting that they had. It was a dinner and all that stuff.
And they were talking about pushing back against, there are levels to this transgender athlete thing that frustrate me. There are certain things that I think, like, is this as big of a deal as it's being made out of? And then there are other things like, why aren't we making a bigger deal out of this? If transgender people want to compete in sports, they should compete in sports, but they shouldn't compete where they have an advantage. I don't even understand why that's complicated. I think that the multitude of times that we have seen females say, I surrender. I'm not competing against you. I'm not participating in this. I'm not going to justify this. That is the grassroots effort that needs to take place. And we are asking so much of our young female athletes. It's wild to me, as somebody who the biggest part of my secular identity growing up was being an athlete. I played softball, I did track, I did volleyball, and I did basketball. I did all four of those through my senior year of high school. And nobody ever cared about girls' sports. And it wasn't in like a mean way. There would be times where, you'd have the students would come and they'd watch a game or something because somebody put an effort together and people would show up to watch the game. But it's because they liked the people who were playing, not because they were like, I really love watching basketball. When do the girls play next? That was never even a part of the conversation. The boys' games, we'd pack the gym and we'd be a really rowdy student section. I was a part of it and I loved it. And I didn't really look at the lack of excitement for girls' sports as something like as an affront to me as a female athlete. I just kind of understood that that's the way it was. I remember in high school, they used to have two-man crews. Yeah, they were all men. Two-man crews to officiate basketball games. And as a varsity athlete, we always had two, but the boys always had three. And I remember asking one time why that wasn't happening, why we weren't getting three. And they're like, oh, it's just an easy way to save money. We don't need three for girls. And it was just like a statement that was made. And that bothered me then. There was not a focus on elevating girls and sports because the measurement was always about the quality of the sport for the viewer. And when you're talking about buying a ticket to go watch something, you're talking about investing in entertainment. I didn't play sports to entertain people. I played sports because I got something out of it with my teammates, with my coaches, the ability to participate in something that required a collective of people working towards the same goal that you had to train for, you had to practice for, you had to work towards. That is an incredibly valuable thing for girls to do. And it is as important for girls to do it as it is boys. That might not result in the equal level of interest from an entertainment standpoint for the public, but that's not why we have sports for girls. That's not why Title IX was put in place. It is so wild to me that the parties on the issue of transgender women, which is to say a man who's transitioned to a woman, some people would call them men. I will, for the sake of not trying to distract from the issue, call them transgender women for this conversation. Biologically, they are at a significant advantage over girls who are pouring everything that they have into competing at the highest level that they can. And I grew up in a world where the liberal left, the Democrats, the progressives, were the front lines of fighting to make sure that things like this couldn't happen. And it's amazing to me to see that when it comes down to it, essentially the question we have to ask ourselves is, are we going to choose transgender women or women? Are we going to choose transgender girls or girls? You have to pick one in this issue. Somebody is going to get left behind. And once again, it's girls that the Democrats are choosing against. The Trump administration has come in and said, no, we're going to choose the girls this time. We're going to back the girls' rights to compete at a fair level. But even more importantly than this, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, the part of the issue that's like, why is anybody okay with this? Why are these transgender women changing in locker rooms with females? There are many accommodations that can be made, and the accommodations that are being demanded are that of everybody else to satisfy the circumstances surrounding the transgender individual in the matter. And it's upside down, it's backwards, and you know it, and I know it, and the public knows it, and they voted against more of that, and they said, no, Donald Trump, we want you to go in and we want to rectify this. It's an incredibly popular issue that the Trump administration is pursuing. And Maine, the governor of Maine, has said, nope, not here. We are going to stand against those girls. And the Trump administration continues to do what they say they're going to do. And they say, well, we're going to fight you on that. And we're going to fight on behalf of these girls. And I'm really grateful for it. I'm raising 3 young girls. 2 of them are athletes. One of them is 3. And she longs for the day where she can play in a volleyball game or a basketball game. But we cannot put our young girls in situations in bathrooms, locker rooms, that the left is demanding that those young girls must be present in there. I mean, think about how twisted and upside down it is. Those girls need to be in that locker room with that transgender girl. Otherwise, they are bigoted. Thank God for the Trump administration. We're going to talk to the Deputy Assistant to the President of the United States and Senior Policy Strategist May Mailman when we come back about the Title IX lawsuit against Maine that they have filed the U.S. Department of Justice for letting trans athletes compete in girls' sports. We're going to get to the bottom of it with May next on the Annie Fry Show. Don't go away.
The truth is that it's Cupid, baby, loving you has made me this way. So before you point your finger, get your hands off of my trigger. Oh yeah, you need to know the situation's getting older now. The more you talk, the less I can say. Oh, I'm looking for attention. I don't know.
STS-armory.com, the brand new location in Pontoon Beach. It's done. It's in operation, and it's great. You want to check out my friends at STS Armory and see what they have in store, literally, for you, or what they can maybe help you acquire. I think that one of the things I appreciate the most about Katie and Jesse, the owners at STS Armory, this family-owned and operated business in Illinois, is how much knowledge they have and how much they're willing to pursue making sure that they get the correct answer for you. If you know exactly what you want, You go to STS Armory, they're going to help you get it. If you know what you're trying to solve or what hole you're trying to fill, they can help ask you the questions to make sure that when you make that firearm purchase or maybe the safety or security device for your home purchase, that you are getting an answer and a solution to a problem that suits your needs, not theirs. STS Armory provides educational classes, conceal and carry classes, renewal classes, instructor classes, beginner classes, ladies only classes, all of it. You can find more details in store in Pontoon Beach or online at sts-armory.com.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA, so we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Everybody gets high sometimes, you know. What else can we do when we're feeling low? So take a deep breath and let it go. You shouldn't be drowning on your own. And if you feel you're sinking, I will jump right over into cold, cold water for you. And although time may take us into different places, I will still be patient with you. And I hope you know I won't let go.
Governor Newell said it's only a couple trans athletes. Well, I think those are boys who identify as girls wanting to beat girls in girls' sports. Well, if one young woman is in jeopardy, one, that's enough for us to be standing up here. One, no boy will be undressing in a girl's locker room. No boy will be walking in a woman's restroom. And no boy, when we're finished with this, will be beating young girls in sports. These young women many of them have trained, since you were in elementary school for your sport? Riley, when did you start swimming? 4 years old. They have trained their entire lives. Some of them have lost scholarships. They have lost regionals. They have lost state because of boys. I don't care if it's one. I don't care if it's two. I don't care if it's 100. It's going to stop, and it's going to stop in every single state.
You listening to Attorney General Pam Bondi there, and be very, very forward with what the intent is, what the purpose is of what the Trump administration is implementing right now, which is, if it affects one girl, that's enough for the Donald Trump administration to go after and say, if it's not right, you hear this as an argument from the left sometime, like, how much does it even affect? I'm watching right now as the IHSA in the state of Illinois is putting their hand up to the Trump administration and saying, no, we're going to, the state legislature and everybody's going to allow in the state of Illinois transgender athletes to compete against girls. And I read an article that was saying like it was 3 in 2023. It was 4 in 2024 transgender athletes that were competing. How many is too many? Well, obviously for the Trump administration, 1 is enough to defend, and I applaud that significantly. Let's get to our guest, May Mailman, with us, the Deputy Assistant to the President of the United States and Senior Policy Strategist. You can follow her on X at May Mailman. May, thank you for being here with us today. It's an honor to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Of course. I want to give you the opportunity to speak on behalf of this lawsuit from the Department of Justice against Maine and their unwillingness to abide by the order put in place by the president when it comes to Title IX. What can you tell us about the intent of the Department of Justice?
Yeah, well, this is a monumental lawsuit. It's first of its kind because no school has ever lost money from the federal government due to a violation of Title IX. Title IX is a law that says if you're going to take federal money for your education program, then you have to provide equal opportunities for women. This was a necessary law in 1972 where women couldn't have certain majors. They couldn't participate in most sports. They didn't have access to some facilities where they would only have men's bathrooms in the science wing of the university. So, you've got to have equal opportunities for women. And of course, now the left is taking those opportunities exactly away from women and saying, you don't have your bathrooms anymore. You don't have your sports anymore. And so schools usually comply when the federal government comes and knocks on your door and says, hey, you need to give women equal opportunities, but Maine blatantly has refused to. We've asked multiple times. And so the next step is we are here in federal court. We are asking the court to enforce Title IX. And we're asking for an injunction that Maine stop, that they give the titles back to the women. And then we're seeking money damages in the past, of past money that's been given to Maine. And then, of course, this would affect all their future money to their schools as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart move, another smart move by the Trump administration to utilize what they have at their fingertips to pressure these states to follow what has been ordered, to make sure that they are complying and protecting these girls. I love how in that clip that I played right before we brought you on, Pam Bondi turns around and looks at Riley Gaines and said, when did you start swimming? She said 4. These young girls spend their entire lives preparing for the opportunity to compete at a high level. And you know what? I know middle schoolers. I'm a coach for girls volleyball. My 12-year-old daughter plays volleyball and she works really hard at it. I cannot imagine in 4 years, she's in the middle of her high school career and she's having to face a biological male and taking away her opportunity to shine in fair competition. Why is this so hard for the left to understand?
It is pure Trump derangement syndrome, and it's really sad to see because you saw this at the State of the Union where President Trump would say something like, isn't it terrible that Laken Riley is dead, that Jocelyn Nungaray is dead, and not even with a policy angle to it, just grieving. And the left couldn't even do that. And that's the same thing that it is here, that wherever Trump is, they have to pick the opposite side. And the thing is, it's not a game. It's not funny anymore. Women are being set back because if men can just assert that they are women and take women's privacy away, take their opportunity away, take their safety away, this is happening in sports, this is happening in jails, this is happening in women's domestic abuse shelters, then there is no such thing as women's rights anymore because there are no such thing as women anymore. And the hashtag resist, it gives people meaning in their life, I guess, but it is bad policy. It's not popular and it is harmful. And I think people might think that this is some dying issue. And I do. I think that some of the transgender craziness is in the rearview mirror, but there are state governors like Janet Mills in Maine who are basically committing their women to an unequal status where they cannot have the same opportunities that men can have. So even if we think it's crazy, even if we think it's dying out, powerful, powerful people are committed to this. And so we in the Trump administration are not going to stand for that.
I'm so grateful for it. I'm grateful for it as an former athlete myself, but also as somebody who's coaching and watching my young girls grow up. And I want them to just have a fair competition. You talked about TDS, and it is so important for people to remember that the opposition party right now, the first thing they look to do is see what Donald Trump says. What does he stand for? And then they just reflexively take the opposition, whatever that issue might be, so much so that in our lifetimes, we've seen the Democratic left completely turn inside out from who they used to be and who they used to advocate for and who they now advocate for, which is just the opposite of Trump. I mean, that's why I think we see a lot of center left people in the last election come out to support the president and his agenda. It's like the Democrat Party doesn't stand for anything other than not Trump.
It's exactly right. And I think if people were to listen to with an open mind to Trump's policies, they'd see that there's a range. There's something for everybody. Some of them are very conservative. Some of them are not traditionally conservative. And a lot of them are moderate. They're based on rational, common sense. What do people think? And, because they're triggered by his posts on social media, it feels very triggering. And so then they have to take the opposite position. But if instead of being triggered by Truth Social, you would just listen to whether you think girls should be able to change without a male gazing at them, that does seem like a very reasonable position. But this entrenched worldview of the left, I mean, it's the same thing with deporting criminal gang members. All of a sudden, it's bad to deport criminal gang members. I mean, do you hear yourself? And they do, but they don't. And so over here, we know that leftism is really entrenched in America in a lot of our institutions, not just in governors' offices, but in universities, in Harvard University, in the media. And so we are committed to ensuring in law firms that our institutions can open their eyes and have common sense policies that are both complying with the law and that the American people deserve. And so, these types of things, bigger, broader cultural changes, we think that that's very important, and we're going to keep fighting for it.
Well, it's wonderful to see the fight actually being taken to these lack of common sense positions that the Democrats are taking. I'm thinking to myself about the big hubbub around the all-female crew that Jeff Bezos sent up in the air, and I'm like, do we acknowledge that they're all women? Like how do we have conversations in our cultural sense where we're defining and championing women when they do things that are alternative to history that, a lot of these industries are very male led. We can see over here on Monday that an all women crew might be kind of cool for some people, but then in Maine, they're still saying that somehow or another, those women are now not the interested party in defending it. We don't speak the same language. In the United Kingdom, they just had that court case that came through that defined biological sex as male or female. Is it possible that some sort of definition like that could ever be made formal here in the United States?
Yeah. So on day one, which is crazy to think that this was a day one executive order, but one of our first executive orders was defining male and female, and we did it in scientific terms, which is there are the large reproductive gamete and the small reproductive gamete. This is not science. This is not rocket science. This is pretty basic stuff, but it was an important thing for us to make clear on day one, because if you don't have the language, then you don't have anything. Congress is going to do its job, and they've proposed versions of this before, codifying that. There are several groups that are codifying men and women into state laws. So there are several states that now have laws that define male and female. And that's really important for school protections, public safety protections, and even just statistics. If you're looking at statistics and saying, how are girls doing as far as their test scores, for example? and the word girl has no meaning, and it's boys and girls, and you don't know. What about crime statistics, these sorts of things? So there are states moving on that. It's something that the Congress is moving on. But the thing that's really holding people back, I think, is none of this is necessary. The reason that it's necessary is the courts. And we just have a bunch of crazy judges, some of whom, are old Reagan appointees, who this was a case that I litigated before I came into the federal government, where we were trying to say in sororities, a sorority bylaw says that it's for women, that new members have to be women. And this old 80-plus-year-old judge said that he was not sure what woman meant. So really the bureaucrats and the judges are the things. It's not the American people. The American people know. There are just some people who are blinding themselves to the truth.
Yeah, that's always my question. Do they really know when they're trying to deceive other people on the issue, or are they that dumb? I don't know. It's really hard to put it in a different way. May, thank you for being with us. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's an issue we're following closely here on the Annie Frey Show, and want to continue to see hopefully a swift victory for the Department of Justice to make sure that Maine girls actually do have the opportunities they deserve, and that they're not taken away by their governor who hates the president.
Thanks, Annie. We'll definitely keep you posted, and we're hopeful. Even if we have some crazy district judge and don't get a good ruling at first, we feel very confident at the Supreme Court. We think the Supreme Court has basically already indicated when they struck down or allowed Biden's rule not to come into place, where Biden tried to define women as men, and the Supreme Court 9-0 basically said, we're not going to take this issue up. So we feel very confident in our chances, but we will keep you posted.
We appreciate it. May Mailman, thank you for being here today. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. She's the Deputy Assistant to the President of the United States and Senior Policy Strategist, May Mailman. You can follow her on X at that same name. Very cool to talk to her. And I will enjoy greatly when the Trump administration prevails over what is happening in Maine. And also stay close, Illinois folks. The IHSA has made some statements on this. It really appears to me, I'm trying to pull this message up that I sent to you, Brad, a couple days ago, because I want to get, did you make a contact?
I am looking for a good contact, and I will reach out as soon as I got one.
Yeah, we want to make sure we get the right people. I don't know that the IHSA will come talk to us, but I'd like them to tell us no instead of not asking. You're seeing in the state of Illinois, let's see here. I'm going to pull up this article from mystateline.com. This is, what is this news outlet? It's a Bloomington, WTVO. The Illinois High School Administration, IHSA, has responded to demands from Republican lawmakers, saying it will keep its policy of letting transgender athletes compete in high school sports competitions, despite an executive order from President Trump. In March, 40 Illinois lawmakers sent a letter to the IHSA saying, quote, the federal government adopted policies under President Trump that clearly prohibit permitting biological men to compete against biological women in sports. Quote, it is our understanding that the IHSA has communicated prior to these orders a policy that establishes a process for transgender students whose gender identity differs from their sex assigned at birth to seek eligibility for the opposite sex's sports. We are writing you to request that you provide a written response to the undersigned legislators detailing your intent to amend policy to comply with federal directives prohibiting athletes from participating in single-sex sports opposite of their sex assigned at birth. That was from the lawmakers. The local news outlet goes on to say on Tuesday, April 15th, the IHSA responded, quote, the Illinois Attorney General and more recently, the Illinois Department of Human Rights have asserted to the IHSA that the Illinois Human Rights Act requires that transgender athletes be permitted to participate in events and programs aligning with the gender with which they identify. As a result, compliance with the president's executive order could place the IHSA out of compliance with the Illinois Human Rights Act and vice versa. IHSA Board President Dan Tully and IHSA Executive Director Craig Anderson, who signed the letter, added, quote, the IHSA simply desires to comply with the law and takes no position on which of the foregoing is correct. Given the conflict described above, however, we are left in an untenable position. So essentially they've said, the IHSA, we're just trying to do what we're told by the entities who are telling us, oh, but we're not picking the president. We're going to defy the president's order and go with the Illinois Human Rights Act. That's what they've said. So if your child is playing in an IHSA event, My son is. Maybe I should sign him up for girls volleyball. Isn't it absurd? Isn't it mind-blowing? Thank God the Trump administration is pushing back on this and hope to get their interest in what Illinois is doing very quickly. I feel like if Donald Trump had a spare minute, he'd like to give it to smacking J.B. Pritzker around. That just kind of feels like a hunch that I have. All right, let's take a quick break. Ryan Wiggins back in studio with us here in a minute. Easter is upon us this Sunday. It's Good Friday today. We want to know if you're going to dye eggs this weekend. YouTube live chat poll on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. You'll see there's a live chat there where the comments traditionally are, at least while we're broadcasting live still. Let us know, yes or no. Dyeing eggs, we'd like to have your thoughts on that. And your next questions in the YouTube live chat. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Air Comfort Service wants you to be in your comfort zone all of the time when you're in your house or your place of business. They do residential, they do commercial, heating, cooling, insulation. They are the best at it. They have been serving St. Louis for over 55 years. So if you have any HVAC questions whatsoever, give them a call at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Corey Malone, wonderful family, and the team at Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation love supporting their local communities. They serve and honor them during this National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. This month, they're donating a bag of food for every AC clean and check performed throughout the course of April to their friends at Open Door Animal Sanctuary in High Ridge. Your air conditioner does need routine maintenance, and it's super simple to forget about, but Air Comfort Service is there to make sure that you don't forget about it. You can sign up for their monthly plan to make sure that you get all the checks done you need each month, each year. And when you do that, they're even going to call you to remind you when to set up your appointments. You don't really have to think about it at all, and it helps keep your maintenance up to date on expensive equipment in your home. That helps you avoid those costly repairs. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing, not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how you could build your retirement on your terms. Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour Saturday mornings at 6 here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. Victim of a car accident? Not choosing the best lawyer will cost you. But here's the good news. Since you don't pay unless we win, you can afford the very best. Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-500-5000.
The poll today is, will you dye eggs this weekend? I just got a text from my family with a picture of my kids dyeing eggs right now. So we're a yes on this. Well, we are, as in the family. I'm not currently doing it, but that's the YouTube live chat poll today. Let us know what your traditions are. You can leave a comment there by typing in Annie Fry, seeing today's date, and clicking on the live stream. 1:48 this my time check is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The news is fast. Listening to your favorite show at 1.5 speed is even faster. Download the podcast of your favorite 97.1 show. Upload it to the Odyssey app every day. All for your listening convenience.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Had to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
You know, we talk a lot about weed on the show and how much it stinks. And just yesterday, did you see the story about the cannabis odor bill?
No.
That is moving. Are you excited about this?
Well, maybe. I need more information.
I'm excited about it regardless.
What do you think the cannabis odor bill is about in the state of Illinois?
I'm going to guess that this is the it's in the state of Illinois.
Yeah.
This is
it's an important detail.
that
folks.
if you are offended by the smell of marijuana, you are not to say anything or approach anyone about it, lest you lose your rights of speech.
Brad, any guesses?
I think they're going to put you in prison if you say anything to somebody that smells like pot.
This is from AdvantageNews.com. Illinois lawmakers are considering a bill that would remove cannabis odor as the sole probable cause for police officers to search a car.
Oh, that's a little better than the ones we were suggesting, though.
The measure, sponsored by State Senator Rachel Ventura of Joliet, she's a Democrat, would still require the cannabis be stored in a secure, sealed, or resealable container. She said, I want to be very clear that I encourage every driver to drive sober at all times.
Okay.
I don't know why that's the disclaimer you want to add on to this bill, and that it is not the purpose of this bill to undermine that. She said that the measure aims to bring clarity by directing law enforcement to consider all factors, not just odor, in deciding if the law has been broken. So you have to have like two-factor authentication now. If you open the door, weed just smell weed just reeks you, and they're like, I need something else.
Yeah, what else are you gonna get? I smell weed,
me.
but I don't taste it yet. What else do they have to show you? The bag, like the light lit joint, and say, there's two. I can see it now.
Venture cited 2 Illinois Supreme Court rulings that contradicted each other about whether cannabis odor alone was sufficient for probable cause for police to search a vehicle without a warrant. One involving burnt marijuana and the other raw cannabis. Quote, there are now a myriad of situations where cannabis can be used and possessed, and the smell resulting from that legal use and possession is not indicative of the commission of a criminal offense. It's not a crime to smell like weed, unfortunately. Can you guys get on that one? Blech. I saw this and I vocalized joy when I scrolled past cannabis odor bill moves to Illinois House. I was like, they're gonna do something good for once. And then I read it. I was like, gosh dang it. This is not what I wanted out of this.
It's actually encouraging more. You could smell more like pot now and not have to worry about it as much. So there will be more of this.
State Senator Chapin Rose, Republican, said the legislation defies common sense. Thank you, Senator. Quote, we would never, ever ask a police officer to disregard the odor of alcohol when they pull a car over. Why on earth would we ask a police officer to disregard the odor of cannabis? Listen, it's like if you smell, if it's a pungent, reeking odor of weed and you're in operation of a vehicle, that's a problem. If you smell like weed and you're riding a bus, public transportation, maybe that's okay. But if you're driving erratically, or if you have been pulled over for rolling a stop sign, or maybe going 7 miles an hour over the speed limit when it's a 25 mile an hour speed trap or something like that, and you get pulled over and it appears as though there is probable cause to assume that somebody might be inebriated or under the influence of a substance. For weed, we want to have 2 things that people have to verify right now. Ask yourself this. Is this protecting the average common Illinois law-abiding citizen? Yes or no?
So this is specific to police officers and people driving
Illinois
high.
lawmakers are considering a bill that would remove cannabis odor as the sole probable cause for police officers to search a car.
It's really amazing. It's like they've tried to find the craziest thing they can do, and let's at least put forth a bill. I don't know if it'll pass, but let's at least throw this out there so that people know that's the direction we'd like to go.
The Senate passed the measure by a 33-20 vote.
Jeez.
And now it will go to the House.
They
Thank God they're
passed it.
focused on the things that are important. One of the other things I know that a lot of you on the Illinois side are paying attention to, and on the Missouri side, you're probably kind of like voyeuristically curious about, is the mascot bill that is going to go to the Senate here at the end of April. I am working on an assembly, a pep rally for schools like Collinsville, the K-Hawks, of which Ryan is a graduate, the Freeburg Midgets, of which Brad is a graduate of, Muscuda Indians, the Granite City Warriors. All of those mascots are on the chopping block, and we are looking to have an assembly, a rally, date to be determined. I think we have a location for it. I think we have a date. I think we have a time, but I'm not going to say it until it's official. But it's going to be big, and I want you to stay attuned to my show specifically, but also our social media, because we're going to be putting out the specific details. And we're just going to say, hey, everybody, let's show up in one place and say, please don't pass this bill to the Senate. Don't do it. This is not what the people want. We want local control. It's not a Republican issue. It's not a Democrat issue. This is a common sense local control issue. If the Collinsville K-Hawks decide that, you know what, together, this is problematic for us, the community doesn't want it anymore, they can choose to push away from it. But guess what? The partnership that the Collinsville K-Hawks have with local Native American tribes is pretty thick. And the relationship that exists there is actually to be commended. And the state legislature doesn't care about that. The folks that are trying to push this mascot bill, they don't care about this. They're virtue signaling 100%. And we want to show up en masse in one place to say, get your hands, your grubby hands off of our local issues. We appreciate the fact that you have the First Amendment right to an opinion. You don't like our mascot. We understand that. We'll take it into consideration locally. And if we want to be a K-Hawk, if we want to be an Indian, a Warrior, or a Freeburg Midget, we're going to continue to do that until we decide that we think that we need to move on. So if you're there, don't care whether you vote R or D or red or blue or anything like that, stay tuned, because we're going to have an event to show in force with hopefully tons and tons of people packing the place to say, do not pass this bill, Senate. Pay attention. Don't do it. We'll give you those details as they develop, but follow me on X at Annie Fry Show or on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show will be there to give you all those details as they unfold. Get your Ask Us Anything questions. Next question, next segment, right here on the Annie Fry Show.
Let's just face it, right? Your home should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim. And if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation, so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesideRD.com today to start your dream renovation.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
And The Lovin' Spoonful.
Do you believe in magic?
Saturday, October 25th at the Family Arena with the Hollies' greatest hits, starring Terry Sylvester. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon and The Lovin' Spoonful.
Get ready for BTO live in concert. Bachman Turner Overdrive with special guests Zebra and Aldo Nova. Roll on down the Highway 2025 tour.
Saturday, August 30th, the Family Arena. A night of vintage PTO. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture Box Office, located at the Family Arena, or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Bachman Turner Overdrive.
If you're a supporter of the Second Amendment, you need to be a member of the Range St. Louis West. Mark Cox here. You know, they get free lanes and free firearm rentals, 5% off firearms and suppressors, 10% off accessories, and 15% off classes. The new benefit on Sundays from 10 to noon, the lanes are for members only. And in April, you get 2 free basic cleanings of a modern firearm. Check them out at 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin, TheRangeSTL.com.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup Tournament is coming back to St. Louis. Join us on May 6th or May 7th at Energizer Park for the round of 32 and watch St. Louis City SC compete with teams from around the country for America's most historic trophy. Tickets are available now for the round of 32 and round of 16. Learn more at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup and help the boys in red bring home an 11th U.S. Open Cup to our city.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Somber Seminoles. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. Classes canceled at Florida State University after a gunman killed 2 people and injured 6 others.
People here still trying to process yesterday's deadly shooting. Now, authorities say the 2 people who died are not students here, and the hospital says that the 6 people who are injured are expected to be okay, but students here at FSU are very shaken up. It's been less than 24 hours since the deadly gunshots flew across campus, and today students will be able to pick up anything they left behind from certain buildings during the chaos, but classes are canceled until next week. Students have already been gathering at a quickly growing memorial to honor the victims, and tonight the community will gather for a campus vigil.
As Fox's Madison Scarpino, the Trump administration releasing government documents related to the 1968 assassination of Senator Robert F. Kennedy. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
What we have just released here today is 10,000 pages that have been sitting in boxes within the National Archives that had never been digitized or viewed publicly before. These are documents related to the government's investigation into the assassination.
Is there on Fox and Friends discussing the importance of the release. Upon his return to the Oval Office, President Trump signed an executive order calling for the release of those documents as well as files related to the assassinations of former President John F. Kennedy and civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And the Trump administration has been blocked from dismantling the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau by a federal judge. Now that same judge says they cannot go forward with a mass layoff of hundreds of employees of the agency. U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson says she's deeply concerned the Trump administration officials aren't complying with her earlier order that maintains the Bureau's existence until she rules on the merits of a lawsuit seeking to preserve it. Again, this is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. America's listening to Fox News.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our weather is quiet right now, but a very active stretch coming up right through Easter Sunday. This evening, temperatures in the 70s. It's windy. It's mild all night long. Partly cloudy skies, the low 66. Friday, partly sunny, windy, and warm. Be a couple of showers, couple of thunderstorms around the focus late in the day. So anticipating a lot of dry time, 83. Friday night, rain and thunderstorms around. Some could be strong to severe. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Who has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis? Is the Post-Dispatch Window Retailer of the Year, J.D. Power Award winner 5 years in a row, and has the nation's best warranty coverage? Renewal by Andersen, that's who. Take advantage of our great April sale. Buy one window, entry door, or patio door, and get the next 50% off with 0 payments and 0 interest for 12 months. Check it out at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1924. Renewal by Andersen, a better way to a better window.
Baseball is back, and this season there are more ways than ever to watch your Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. As always, you can watch FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. New for 2025, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals without blackouts. And for a limited time, you can get started with a 30-day free trial using code CARDS30DAY when you sign up at FanDuelSportsNetwork.com. Visit Cardinals.com/TV to learn more.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Hey, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's Good Friday, and we are happy to be with you here. We talked with Dave Murray at the beginning of the 1 o'clock hour, kind of like the layout of the holiday weekend. Of course, there are always outdoor events taking place throughout the course of Good Friday through Easter Sunday. So if you're interested in hearing the details on the rain that's going to be coming in, the timing of it, the severity of it, go back to the beginning of the 1 o'clock hour and take a listen to Dave Murray talking about that. You can check the podcast at anniefryshow.com/podcast. All right, let's get to it. Next question on the Annie Fry Show. Next question.
Next question. It's a legitimate question. Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
First question I have, and this came across as something I saw on social media, and I wonder if that really, how you guys would feel about this. If you were meeting your significant other later in life, like you didn't know him in high school or you didn't know him in college, if you had a significant physical change with like cosmetic surgery on your body, maybe your nose was really whack or something, you had something done on you, your genetics created this part of your body, but this person met you and they didn't know that your nose used to look like something else. Do you feel like there's a moral obligation to disclose that earlier in the relationship? Because I would assume if you're going to have kids that those genes would be in play. Yes or no?
Ooh, man. That's a good question.
Well, there was a nose that somebody had done and they looked great. I mean, the nose beforehand had a major bend in the nose, and it was, it's the way they were born. They didn't imply that there was injury that caused the nose to be disfigured the way it was. And people were commenting repeatedly, like, if you date anybody, you have to tell them right away what you used to look like. And I'm like, how do you even do that? But then I was also thinking, there's so much that women do to themselves to look a certain way anyway. I mean, and it could be hair extensions, it could be Botox, it could be loads of makeup, it could be a boob job, it could be all sorts of different things. should you have to disclose, like, my actual genetics are this, and here's what I can do with them?
Yeah, I've seen the videos that are going around now of women who look so completely different without makeup that you wouldn't even know is the same person. So those things scare me. Well, here's a line. I have to ask this question. If you're a guy, or a girl, I guess, but it would apply to guys more. Would that apply to hair transplants?
Oh, I think
anything
as much as anything else would. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you were completely and totally bald, and I mean, what if you're wearing a hairpiece or whatever? There's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, I think a hairpiece you would eventually find out, but how far into the relationship can you go before you're like, this isn't really mine, or these weren't really mine, or this is what I used to look like?
I would say when it becomes serious, you would need to disclose something. And I don't know what that is, but it's probably not first date. It's probably not even first few dates. But once it's like, okay, I think we're exclusive, we're getting pretty serious, that might be something. I think you have to say something. I would feel compelled to.
So hypothetically speaking, you meet your spouse after you've lost a bunch of weight because you had a heart condition.
Hypothetically
speaking, should I disclose that to my spouse? Potential spouse.
I'm asking you the question. Yeah, well, you answer the question.
I'm just making sure that I understand this correctly. I do think that there is an element of like, especially like in my situation, that's not actually hypothetical. Those of you who know me.
What?
Yeah, surprise. I think that there is a little bit of a responsibility there to know, especially like in my condition, because it was medical issues that caused the dramatic amount of weight loss and stuff like that.
What if you had 3 heart attacks? How many when you met your wife, were you overweight?
Yes.
So she knew you when you were overweight?
Yes.
Had you had a heart attack?
No.
So she knew who you were.
Right then.
So I'm saying, like, if she would have met you
after
you lost all that weight and everything, but also like people who get their stomach stapled or whatever it might be, and if you drop hundreds of pounds,
yeah,
I don't know how long you could get away with something like that. That requires a different kind of lifestyle and what you can eat and stuff. So I don't know how far you could get into a relationship without having to explain why you eat the way you do, or as little as you do, or how, whatever. But like, if you had a major surgery, you had a huge nose job or something, you have to say it.
Well, what's your answer?
I think that what I would do is I would probably show pictures of me in high school or something like that. And it would be there. And I would be like, oh, that's before I got my nose job. And I wouldn't be like, we need to sit down and talk about my nose.
we have to have a conversation.
Yeah. I think I would want to know that I liked this person enough to see if they would still like me in spite of that. And if they didn't, I'd be like, goodbye. As Molly says, twos. Peace.
Yeah, the CF question was a weird one for me because when I was dating, I never thought about it. I never thought anybody would care. So I never really thought, oh, this is something I need to disclose until I was probably close to marriage. I don't know that I ever had like
Does Mrs. Wiggins know?
She knows. We had to get genetically tested for her to see if our kids would be susceptible to having it. But I don't remember having a talk.
Do you know at birth? Is cystic fibrosis detectable immediately at birth?
Back when I was born, obviously now they can do genetic testing, but they don't do it for that. So you have to have a reason to test for it. And the reason that usually, and that's how they caught mine right away, is that your sweat is real salty.
How soon did you know? How soon did your parents know?
Within a few months. Actually,
so as a baby.
They knew that they thought I had bronchitis when I was born. So they knew something was up, and that's when they did the testing. So it was pretty quick.
Next question.
Let's see. This one is a little bit of a biased question. You'll know where I'm going with this. But what is the best sport to watch in person?
Why is it a biased question?
Because this weekend starts the hockey playoffs.
Well, that's your opinion.
It's the best one.
I mean, your opinion. You want to answer hockey?
Yeah, it's hockey.
In person, I like baseball. I know that people whine about it, but that's because they don't like baseball. Like, you got to love it. I don't. Everybody obsesses over hockey and once you're there and blah blah blah. I am incredibly impressed by it, and I don't take anything away from it. But I don't understand in hockey, especially. Are there plays? Yes, but not like in football. In football, everything is plays. Everything is routes and options and all that type of stuff. Hockey is really a testament to how athletic it is. It's so fluid. I don't know enough about it to I think appreciate it as much as I would like to. So football's really fun too, though. I'm going football or baseball, maybe basketball.
We talked a little bit about this.
Maybe croquet.
While you were gone on Monday, I think that I've been to 2 baseball games this year, and I've forgotten how fun going to the baseball game is. It was just, I didn't have to think about anything. We're there to watch baseball. It was so enjoyable with my kids. But I'm still going with hockey.
Well, I'm stuck between this, and I think I'm going to ruffle some feathers here when I say this, but I think NASCAR is the best, or auto racing is the best.
Why? Because it's not a sport.
It is a sport. Next question is:
Is NASCAR a sport?
Yeah, auto racing. That you don't get to experience the sights, the smells, the rumble, the feeling of watching that stuff at home, and a lot of that is what makes. And I firmly believe that any sport is better in person than it is on TV. Absolutely, 100% would rather go to. I mean, freezing cold football game, don't care. Would rather go to it than watch
golf.
it.
It's a lot of walking.
Golf isn't a sport.
You're going to say racing is a sport and golf isn't? You're fired. Go. That's wild. That should be the poll. I'm going to end the poll question right now and re-ask that. Which is a sport? Golf, racing, both or neither?
Or gymnastics.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like the experience of being there. There's nothing that has as much physical assault on your senses like a race. And I grew up watching it. And maybe it's a little bit of like that nostalgia of being a little kid and the emotions that I have of going with like my grandpa and all that other stuff. But that's my favorite, is to watch a race.
My next question is, do you think golf is a sport?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Same with racing with me. Just pulling some chains. I don't know why Ryan hates the fact that it's a sport.
It's a sport.
Next question.
But you can hear the tone of my voice. I'm going to ask another sports question.
It's Brad's turn to ask.
Oh, sorry.
You want to let him play today?
Brad, do you want to go ahead? Or
Ryan, can I ask my question?
Yeah.
Don't know if he's going to make that your question.
He's going to make it.
That was a good one. Now my turn.
Yeah. This is a weird question, but what weird food combinations do you really enjoy?
Oh, well, I said salami, cheese, and jelly.
Oh yeah, we never followed up on that.
We need to follow up on that, don't we?
I can't think of any crazy combinations. I said before I've been eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly. That's pinnacled.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
It's not.
I don't even know how you put those two things together.
I know.
In the same
Who
place.
even thinks of that?
I know. The internet. It's an Instagram thing. I don't know how to answer that because I can't think of any that I pair strangely. You know what I don't like though? I don't like my foods touching much on plates. So maybe I'm a no to this question in general.
You are super OCD about things.
So this is gonna like drive you nuts. But one of my favorite things growing up was to take the corn and mix it in with the mashed potatoes.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And I thought
I was Farmer's Delight.
I thought it was
beef in there.
I thought it was like incredibly weird until KFC introduced a bowl that basically has all of that. But I really like the corn and the mashed potatoes mixed together.
My grandma would make pot roast, peas, mashed potatoes, and gravy. And when we were over her house, you'd put the mashed potatoes down first, and then you'd put the beef that you'd kind of shred up on top of that, and then you put the peas on top of that, and then you put the gravy on top of that. And that's probably my favorite meal. My husband makes that like once a week. It's delicious. Next question. You guys have one from, I'll read one from or do you have one?
I was going to say, I've got one from the chat, and it's from Ender. He wants to know, when will Annie take a ride in a race car?
Oh, probably home on 70 today.
Nice.
Would you ride in it? Would you ride in a race car?
I don't know.
Like I know you did the Blue Angels thing, but if they did an event where you could do a ride along like that.
They do those things. I'd probably say yes. I would not like it though.
What about you?
I would be less interested in doing that than flying in a FA-18 Super Hornet. I've been in a really nasty car wreck, so I don't. That's a little different for me.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'd probably do it. I don't have that much interest in racing, but being in a car seems like a cool experience.
Well, you know, I'm 1,000% in on that. So.
Yeah.
Next question. Bobo says, "Would you?" Okay, what's happening? Is that Ethan? Is he screwing around here?
I don't know. It's
just flashing.
Bizarre.
Would you rather your inner monologue is now narrated by Gilbert Gottfried, or your dreams are directed by Quentin Tarantino? And it won't stop flashing.
It's just,
I
it's
don't know what to do with that.
I got to go with Quentin Tarantino here. Quentin Tarantino movies are pretty cool, so having dreams based on that'd be all right.
I wouldn't define them as like, I don't need my inner thoughts being Quentin Tarantino thoughts. That's
your dreams. But so you'd go with Gilbert Gottfried narrating your inner
apparently
monologue?
he already does, because apparently I sound like him.
That's true.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. You have an answer to this question?
I think I would rather my inner monologue be narrated by Gilbert Gottfried, because I don't like Quentin Tarantino. He's too weird for me, and I would hate my dreams to be like written or directed by him.
Next question: ice bath, hot tub, or sauna?
Ooh, well, I like hot tubs. That's the easiest one. So I'm gonna go with hot tub.
I have to pick one. My least favorite's hot tub. That's people's soup. That's gross.
That's true. But saunas, man, I can't go into a sauna.
I like the sauna.
I can't. I start to panic because I can't breathe.
No, I like to do the sauna and then follow it up immediately with an ice bath.
Have you done that?
Yes, and it is great.
I'm 100% in on saunas, and I want to buy one. So somebody tell me where I can buy a good sauna, because I want one.
Oof.
Next question.
Next question is back to my sports question. Should we still have an all-star game at all?
For what?
In baseball.
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
I don't know. I think they're kind of boring now. I just don't.
What if we had them play hockey?
If we had the baseball players play hockey, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I actually apply that to any sport. Is there any sport that you're like, oh, I love the all-star game?
Yeah, the NBA and the dunk competition and the home run derby and all that stuff. It's fun. It's just for fun.
Okay.
When it meant something, it was stupid.
Did they take that away?
Yeah.
Does it matter? Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Brad, do you have a thought?
Yeah, I think we should definitely still do it in every sports league except for except for NASCAR, because
for golf.
Except for golf, because I mean you're already individually playing. No, same thing with NASCAR. You're already in an individual race. You don't need to do an all-star race. That's weird.
Even NFL, Pro Bowl.
Sure. Why not?
I don't know.
Like, why are you advocating against taking something like this away? It's not like
they're
it's
boring.
It's not like you're doing something instead of something else.
I guess not. But I just think the Pro Bowl in particular and the All-Star game, I used to be so excited about it. That's what I'm trying to communicate. Is when I was a kid, man, I loved seeing the All-Star game. But after interleague play, it just didn't have the same panache.
Okay.
All right.
If you're bored by it, don't watch them.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will do a few more questions here and get to the results at the end of the hour of our YouTube poll. I know you're dying to find out. Will you dye eggs this weekend? Yes or no? Andy Fry YouTube channel. Come say hi. If you got a question you want to ask us, leave it right there in the YouTube live chat. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna call up that old boyfriend.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Bad for me.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Follow him around for everyone to see. Oh, you said watch yourself, baby. Yeah, you know the deal. Nobody holds a candle to me in my red high heel.
STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, brand new store there. You can call directly if you reach out to 618-931-GUNS. That's 618-931-GUNS. Call them, ask them your questions that you have. They can help you with simple things like your FOID card. Are you having a problem with it? Take it to STS Armory and they will guide you through and let you know what you need to do next. If you don't know what a FOID card is, but you think you want to own a firearm, you got to start with the FOID card application, and STS will happily help you with that as well. trying to achieve your conceal and carry license. In November, I went with my husband to do our renewal course at STS Armory, and it was very helpful. I'm never really like super excited to do those types of things, but by the time we were done with it, I felt very refreshed in the things that are helpful to know. They go over specific laws when it comes to concealing and carrying, where you can carry, how you can carry, when you can't, how you can't, that type of stuff. Everything you need to know, you're going to be able to find out from the experts that have done the research for you. And if you're looking to purchase a firearm, ammunition, a safe for your home, any type of survival types of things, STS Armory can help guide you through the whole process. 618-931-GUNS, 618-931-GUNS, STS-Armory.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, Audacy. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw. Or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSupercenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSupercenterofStLouis.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan and be ready for the first heat wave. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're doing a little next question here on a Good Friday afternoon. We know that the weather is going to be weird this weekend, so stay close to Dave Murray's Facebook page. He'll be updating you there. He also updated us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. So if you want to check out the Annie Fry Show podcast as he lays out what we can expect for the weekend, Dave Murray did us that favor earlier in the show. We're going through our next question conversation right now. Our YouTube live chat poll question for you is, will you dye eggs this weekend? Yes or no? I'm going to ask the next question here for you guys and ask you, what's the most disturbing movie you've ever seen? And what's the worst movie you've ever seen? Just absolute dumbest. Why did I spend my time doing that? Made you mad because it was so dumb.
Ooh, that's the worst movie.
The most disturbing movie I think I've ever seen was House of a Thousand Corpses. That was just so.
Can you explain the plot? Because I think I've seen it, but I don't remember.
Not really. It was a long time ago. It just seemed like terror and death and torture. And then the end wasn't a resolution. You didn't feel like the problem had been solved at the end. You felt like the problem was coming to get you at the end. We watched The Lion King app. I think we finished House of a Thousand Corpses at like 1 a.m. and then we popped in The Lion King or Monsters Inc. or something after that. This was maybe 20 years ago. And then the worst movie you've ever seen, I remember seeing the Alien version of Indiana Jones in the theater. Was super excited to see that. And then it turned out Aliens or something. That pissed me off. I was so mad at that. And then also Independence Day, Resurgence or whatever it was. So hyped to see that. I love the original Independence Day. And the movie was so bad. The story was so bad. I'm like, you should have just told me you wanted my money and at least let me keep my time. I was so mad about it.
Okay. Most disturbing movie I've ever seen was Requiem for a Dream. It is so depressing. It's about drug addicts, basically. And you keep thinking there's like redemption. They're gonna kind of get out of this. And they never do. And it just gets worse and worse and worse.
It's usually super disturbing when it's super depraved.
It is, yeah. But it's weird because it's not just depraved, like, oh, wow, how sick. It's like, yeah, that's probably what that would look like.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, man, unfortunately, you ended this movie correctly. Most disappointing movie?
It has to be something people know. It can't be some like,
Yep.
I was up at 3 a.m. and I watched a channel that nobody has
Yep.
and saw this terrible.
Oh, don't worry. Everybody knows this one. It is Wedding Singer.
I love that movie.
because Billy Madison blew my mind. And then I waited in line to see Happy Gilmore. And when Wedding Singer was coming out, I'm like, this is going to continue to be the best movie trilogy I've ever seen. And he just turned to corny, did a different type of movie. And I was so mad.
I love The Wedding Singer.
Most people do.
Brad?
The most disturbing movie I've ever seen was, I think it was called Alice, Sweet Alice. And it's kind of like it's a horror movie. And it's about a girl named Alice who is like, just looks like this
She's
normal.
really sweet.
Yeah. Normal everyday girl next door kind of thing, but then she just snaps and goes crazy and kills people in the most grotesque, weird ways. And I think I was in like 5th grade when I saw this because I was over at a birthday party and there's a scene where she is beating this person's face in with a high heel, and I will never, ever, ever forget it. I couldn't even tell you how it ended because I was like, why is this on the TV? We're in 5th grade. The worst movie ever made is easy.
What was the situation you were in that you saw it when you were in 5th grade?
It was a birthday party.
Sleepover?
No.
Unsupervised?
No, it was an unsupervised birthday party. And
That's the way they all were in the day,
Yeah.
folks. That's how it went.
And it was actually a girl's birthday party, and the girls wanted to watch this movie. So
Did you cry?
No. It's like, Brad, aren't you going to watch a movie? No, I'm going to stay in here and eat some cake.
Alice wasn't sweet at all.
Oh, I feel lied to. But the worst movie I've ever seen is The Last Jedi. So it was the second installment of the Disney trilogy, and Rian Johnson has forever earned my ire for that piece of
What
garbage.
was so bad about it?
It destroyed everything that was Star Wars.
Is that where they made Luke Skywalker like a
wuss, yeah.
No.
And they also like sent Finn and Rose off on this big important, like when they wrote this movie, they sent them off on this big important chase for this MacGuffin, and basically they didn't know what to do with them. So their whole story arc in that movie played no role in the ultimate outcome. Is just a big.
Does Luke Skywalker hate what they did to his character? Does he ever commented on it?
Yes, yeah. Mark Hamill does not like what they did with
What
Luke
does he say?
Skywalker. I believe it was something
Did he say
along
I
the
was a
lines of
wuss?
no. He said You have taken the character who would not give up on Darth Vader having good in him. You've made this character the most evil man in the galaxy. He's like, no, I can see the good in him. And then he has a bad dream about his nephew and he's ready to kill him in his sleep.
Hamill said that?
Yeah. And he's like,
before or after, like during.
This is like after the movie and like in like he's saying this as they're promoting the movie. he wasn't happy with what they did with that character. So worst movie ever made.
Next question, somebody.
Next question. These are 2 questions, and they're mostly about your feet.
Oh, no.
What kind of socks do you prefer to wear, like profile wise? Do you like the ones that come up high on your ankle? You like low profile socks?
Depends on what I'm wearing.
So you're versatile.
Yeah, I would say very versatile in my sock wearing. Thanks for talking about it.
Do you have any opinion on this?
It's what Annie said. Depends on what I'm wearing.
I hate low profile socks. I was just trying to find a kindred spirit.
So many of these questions are just things we should just call this things I need to get off my chest. This is the next question.
Ryan needs affirmation.
Yeah.
The next one's just like that one. Crocs.
Hate them.
Hate them?
Hate them.
What about them?
I just hate them. Do you like them?
I have them.
Are they comfortable?
Depends on what I'm doing.
Are they appropriate to wear in public?
I don't. Well, I mean, no, I really don't. I like to wear them around the pool.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. As a sandal. That's completely fair.
What are the other options?
I don't know. I just wearing them to
an
events.
athletic shoe.
Just wearing them as your everyday
dress.
shoe.
I don't know. I just like kids. It's fine. It's a fashion. Whatever.
No.
But adults, like really, I don't know. Just seems a little.
Do you have
weird.
any?
No, I don't.
Your wife does.
Yes, she does.
We have the same ones.
Really?
Yeah, I bought them at Disney because I was pregnant and walking in with swollen feet at like in the middle of the summer when it was super hot and I needed something.
They're the perfect shoe to slip on to go get the mail.
Yeah, like slippers.
Yeah, like slippers,
You guys
like
said
sandals.
that you were too good for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too good for those two.
I love slippers also.
Oh, no, I don't hate slippers, but I'm not going to wear them to Walmart.
They're not. Yeah, that's not where they're for. They're house shoes, like
Yeah.
a house coat, which is
Yes.
also a robe.
Yes. By the way, that robe is like the heaviest thing I own. And when I put it on, I feel like I'm being enveloped by love.
It's funny because it came from me.
I know. But it's so heavy that I put it on. I'm like, it's like a weighted blanket. It's like, oh.
You could put that and some slippers or some Crocs on to go get the mail. Do you get the mail in the morning?
No, I usually get it in the evening.
Do you go get a paper in the morning?
No, but I like the idea of doing those things.
Ryan's like, I might
Open it up at the end of your driveway and snap it a few times.
See what the old stock market.
Hi, George. There's no George.
There's nobody out at all.
His neighbor's like,
He just stands out there until he can say hi to somebody that can say, "Oh, I saw Ryan out at the end of his driveway reading his paper."
Yeah,
smart
reading the
guy,
paper. Just seeing what the indexes were doing.
keeping up on the yeah as a print.
He's got a pipe. Blows bubbles.
Hello, raccoon. You always go in that same sewer. I think you've got mange. Well, have a good day.
Next question.
All right. So, in light of your birthday today,
Yeah.
do you still get excited for your birthday? And this is for everyone.
You should be.
I'm not excited for it. I don't presume to think that it matters to other people. It's a day.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun, right?
I got a free coffee from Starbucks today.
Did you?
Yeah.
From your husband?
No, from Starbucks.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Well, they
I'm gonna
didn't do
have
it
to
for you.
declare my birthday on a different day that's coming up a little sooner than September.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I still get a little bit excited for my birthday. Although I think most of the people in my life are going to tell me, actually, aside from you guys, most of the people at home, they're like, yeah, we got you something, but it's not here yet. You know, that happens a lot.
Does it bother you?
I can't say it.
It bothers you. You said
I
enough.
can't say it bothers me.
You've hesitated.
But it's a little like it's expected. I'm gonna get something. Probably not gonna get it early or on the day.
Brad?
I'm kind of like with you, Annie, on this, except I like all the sheen and the shine that was the birthday whenever I was younger and I was a kid. It all is kind of tarnished and went away, and it's like, okay, it's just another like, oh, cool, it's a birthday.
What do you mean
I
by
made
tarnished?
it just now I'm getting a year older, and there's nothing like before your birthday. There was something to look forward to. Your 16th birthday, you're getting your license. You know, turn 18, you're an adult, that sort of thing, and like. After you turn 24 and your insurance goes down, it's just like, I'm just another year older. I mean, I get excited to celebrate with family and friends, and it's nice that they think about me and that sort of thing. But just the birthday itself is it's just another day anymore. A reminder that you're getting older.
I agree. It's very depressing and awful. Right, Annie?
This is a great conversation. Happy to be here. 22 minutes and counting. Next question. Do you have a band, an artist, or something commonly respected and liked by most people that just is nails on the chalkboard to you? Mine is Jennifer Nettles of Sugarland. Like, if that comes on and I'm driving a car over a bridge, I'm like considering driving off the bridge.
Jennifer Nettles is the artist.
She's the artist. She's the lead singer for Sugarland.
Oh, okay.
I don't wanna do. It's so awful.
I don't even know if I know that song.
Oh,
Is it country?
Gosh. Yeah, it's terrible. A lot of people like her. Idina Menzel is another one. The voice of Elsa in Frozen just makes me want to end Elsa. I understand how Idina Menzel's voice would translate as a very theatrical presentation on a stage in live theater, but let it go. Holy crap. I can't handle the tone of her voice. And she's Elsa. It's like she's one of the top Disney princess characters or whatever she is that have ever existed. So clearly she's fine, but I can't.
I get that. Mine is the number one name that came to mind right when you said that is Pat Benatar. I can't stand Pat Benatar. She sounds like she's
real?
Yes.
Okay.
She sounds like somebody told her, go into the studio and just sing like you are a rock star. And then they put pop behind her.
Name something that she sings.
Gosh, offhand, there's 1,000 songs that I know by her. And every time they come on, I'm like,
I Hate Myself for Loving You.
Yeah, I think that's her. Love is a Battlefield. Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Oh, yeah. I don't like
Heartbreaker. Love Maker.
Sound just like her.
Ugh,
Kate says on our YouTube she doesn't like Adele. I love Adele. See, that's the type of thing I'm talking about. Like, for some reason, there's something in the tone of somebody's voice that everybody loves, and you're like, I secretly can't stand it.
Mm-hmm.
Brad?
The Beatles.
Okay.
just go on.
Choosing violence. Go on.
Yeah.
I hope your inbox is okay because you're going to get a lot of hate. I cannot.
No, send it to Brad. Don't send it to me.
I cannot. Well, mine's not in the description in the chat. So
just put attention, Brad.
Attention, Brad. She'll forward it to me. I will just ignore them. I cannot stand the Beatles. I don't understand. It's not just that I don't understand why everybody likes them and why it was such a huge thing and all that other stuff. It's not good music.
Ooh, it's the greatest band ever. Brad's like, they suck.
Steve, our ratings seem to plummet right about 241 on a Friday. Happened to be my birthday. Let's check the tape. Let's see here. Which one did I want to pop up here? Oh, Chris says Dave Matthews for me. I understand that. I like Dave Matthews, but it's kind of one of those things where everything he does sounds the same. So if you like it, you like everything he does. If you don't like it, you don't like anything he does.
It's also that Dave Matthews, he's not right in front of you anymore. For a time period, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't hear Dave Matthews on the radio that much.
So if you hear one song to me, I'm more okay with it now than I've ever been.
Yeah, me too.
I know there are people he's a divider of people, but I think he's got enough on his side that he's probably doing just fine. All right. Any other questions before we wrap?
Well, one more of those singers that drives me nuts. Bon Jovi. And I think
I'm with you on that one.
He's got some songs that I don't think are bad songs. Pat Benatar, actually, if somebody else did them, they might be okay songs. But he sings so much harder than the rock he's doing that it takes me out of it every time. That wasn't a question. It was a statement, but it's true.
There's a lot of discussion in our YouTube chat right now of people who you hate. So sorry to take it such a dark direction. Sometimes you got to get that off your chest, though, because when I've said before that Idina Menzel's voice is like nails on a chalkboard to me, I've had multiple times people be like, "Yes, it drives me crazy too." I feel seen in that moment because how do you dislike Elsa? I like the movies for the most part. I don't have anything against the character of the movie or whatever. It's just like, why that voice? Or why did she present her voice in that way?
I actually agree with you. Although, gosh, the comment up right now, info dude, Fleetwood Mac is the reason I can't rip the knobs off my radio. I have to be able to change it. My gosh, Fleetwood Mac is great.
Brian says U2 sucks.
Ouch.
That's not from me. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll wrap up the show here with the results of the YouTube live chat poll. When we come back, are you going to dye Easter eggs this weekend? Even with the price of eggs being up, are you going to pull back at all on that? Yes or no? Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Disgrace, he who knew his father when he cursed his name turned and chased the dollar, but it broke his heart.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. You can reach Stewie at 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Make sure that you reach out and talk about your mortgage situation where you are right now. You might be looking to purchase a new home. You're going to want to get pre-approved, and you can get pre-approved fast with Stewie. And then after you get that pre-approval number, you can go onto his website and generate your own pre-approval letters. So you're not waiting for a third party to make sure they can turn around paperwork for you to get that good offer in on the home that you want in time. You want to be a competitive buyer? Use the Bagel Loan, pay $0 in closing costs. And with those $0 in closing costs, potentially thousands of dollars still in your pocket, maybe you make a more aggressive offer. Maybe you put that money in your pocket and you don't ask for, some window to be replaced or something, and you can replace it yourself. That makes you a stronger, more competitive buyer. And that's what Stewie is in the business of doing. He can close in less than 2 weeks as well. So if you're looking to purchase a home, you're going to need a mortgage. You need Stewie and the Bagel Loan. 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
I love the way he articulates things together, examples with all his stage members up there at all different levels, which is wonderful to see and inspiring.
That's Orlando on his Expo experience. It's coming again. Join Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited for Expo 2025, May 7th through the 10th in Irving, Texas. Get hands-on training from successful real estate investors and learn proven strategies that work. Find out more and save $100 when you text Expo to 88007, EXPO to 88007.
Will you dye eggs this weekend, or have you already? Let us know. That's the YouTube live chat poll today. It's a yes or no. And then also let us know if you have any Easter traditions that you'd like to share. We are monitoring the chat as we speak. 246. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
It sounds like, are we back in now?
Yeah.
Who sings that song?
That's Kiss.
That was one that I said we can't play anymore.
I say somebody.
I said, Brad, you turn this off.
Kiss wasn't listed yesterday.
That was rough.
I didn't even have my headphones on. It sounds like we're off.
Just want to let you guys know we are in the segment now.
Jeez.
We are rolling.
Usually let the music play while I find something to talk about. Guess what, guys?
Brad,
why don't you take it from here?
Yeah, okay. Well, fine. You know what? Let's do this. It's Annie's birthday.
What? Actually, give me that segment back.
And
do that on purpose.
And I've got a card here, Annie, and card has your birthday present in it, and I'd like for you to open it on air. I know you don't like opening cards on air or doing this.
Don't make it sound like I'm the Grinch.
Well, it's because it's usually not good radio, but I think this is going to be different.
This segment is changing that.
This is I appreciate the gifts, and this is even sealed. That's great. It's just that it's so quiet, which kind of was like our intro. So maybe this really,
yeah.
Make it loud. Open it loud. Well, we're waiting.
Oh, it's just that.
That's it. So
what? Really?
Yes.
Is that
why don't you tell the people on air or that are listening what it says, Annie?
That's so much better than mine.
Well, that's why I wanted to go first.
That's really all that matters, Ryan. That's why we did it this way. White House press pass. So Brad talked to me about this a little bit earlier this week, but didn't give me a ton of details. And Brad has been hustling his butt off, as he is apt to do. And he has gotten me the opportunity to go be a part of the press pool.
Whoa.
At the White House. Is that not so cool? Tell me, I mean, I don't have all the details. You messaged me some stuff yesterday because I need to coordinate. But this is like the craziest thing.
This is still
ever.
so developing that I had a phone call this morning at about 10 o'clock with actually it was a person.
Do I have to carry this cricket-made White House press pass? Hey, it says Gary Foot on the back.
Gary Foot.
You're not Gary Foot. Get out of here.
Who really is?
What a scoop.
What a scoop.
So I've been working with
That's not Gary Foot.
There goes my career.
Gary Foot pops up out of the bushes. That's not Gary Foot. I'm Gary Foot.
I'm gonna make a puppet.
It's gonna have the little ticket in
It's
his
gonna
hat
look
and say
exactly
press.
like you as a weatherman.
You should do that. Dudes, take up ventriloquism just for the White House.
I know.
Do not.
I know that you want me to lose my job. I know.
I don't care if the puppet is me.
I had to work so hard to get our show the credibility to say, hey, we want these people on.
What do you mean you had to work so hard to get us?
Well,
the
they don't even.
credibility?
Yeah, we didn't have any. Brad's like, look, we got to really present best foot forward.
Whatever you do, don't Google it.
We are professionals here. Shows up
Google
with a puppet
KMOX.
named
See what
Gary
comes
Foot.
up. She
Oh,
knows
it looks
those
like
people.
these shows have won Edward Murrow Awards. Yes, they'll be allowed in the White House. They don't do puppeteering.
So I worked with any angle that I could get, but really I think a lot of credit here goes to Will Scharf.
He's so cool.
I was reaching out to him and I was looking for a cool present to do for your birthday that would be really
Can't wait to
unique.
see what Ryan did.
And like initially I said,
also reached out to Will Scharf.
I said,
and wait till you see what I got you.
yeah, he said, I said,
Donald Trump in a cake.
ta-da, gluten free.
That's why Joe DeVito couldn't get in the cake.
That's why I was like, oh, shoot, Joe, shut up. Joe, talking about the cake.
Anyway, sorry, Brad.
So I was talking to him and I was like, hey, could we get maybe Annie a pen that he used to sign an executive order or something like that? And he's like, I have a better idea. And so,
Will, my man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So we're supposed to give him some dates.
Sweating.
Couple days. They said that they could get you in for a press conference with Caroline Levitt and that they could have you travel with the press pool. So
what? Travel with the press pool on the bus? Because there's
Yeah,
a bus,
I don't
right?
know. I
Just
don't
like
know.
the minor leagues.
They didn't tell me
We
that.
don't know. I'm gonna not embarrass myself or the family.
Wait,
So
like on the plane?
So
On
like
Air Force One?
So
That's
like
the travel pool. That's different.
The next step is to get them dates so that we can get you on the schedule and get you to Washington D.C.
One of the coolest things I've ever got.
That's incredible. Okay.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I got you this root beer variety pack.
You know how I'm always talking about how much I love root beer.
Cool, huh? It's not just root beer, though. You see that? There's cream soda and there's orange cream in it. It's a 12 pack. It's not just a bunch of cans, though, either. It's bottles. They're fancy. It's all drink themed because I also got you that gift card to Scooters.
Thank you. It's drink themed. It's so heavy.
You're welcome. I know. That's how you know it's real.
I really need to know the story of what came first, the thought to get this, or when you saw this, were you like, gosh, that says Annie?
I did. I saw that and I was like, oh shoot. So I messaged Will Scharf and I said, do you think
You
she'd
know
like
what? She
this?
loves cream soda.
And he goes,
No.
does it have orange cream or just root beer? And I was like, no, it has some orange cream in it. He said, get it. So I did. And there you go.
This is expired.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Don't even tell me that. Oh my gosh.
I got you some expired root beer.
That tracks.
It does.
No, I just
Did
thought
you
it
get
looked
this at
fun.
a discount store?
No. It was just at a store that I thought looked fun. I was like, I have no idea if Annie even drinks this kind of stuff, but I can't.
But what?
You know what came to mind when I saw it is when you said everybody's got one of those random alcoholic drinks in the back of their fridge. I was like, yeah, this could be those.
You got me drinks to keep in my fridge for years?
Kind of. But I was also thinking, even if you don't like them, somebody in your family is going to be super happy about that. So that's why I also got the scooters, because I know you drink that. But this was just kind of like I'm just going to take a shot here. See if maybe that's something you think was cool. I'm going to be honest with you right now. It's not as cool as getting a press pass to the White House.
Nothing is.
But Will Scharf did say that you'd like it. So
How long have you had this?
a couple weeks.
Did you buy it today?
No. I bought that a couple weeks ago. And I knew that I was going to get you the gift card also. So I had it kind of planned out.
Be honest. Man. When you bought this,
go ahead.
Did you buy it for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You didn't go through.
Dale says, make sure it's not dog drained.
You didn't go through with the other part, did you? Because we got to save that.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't able to
We
make
had
that
this
work.
big idea, but we couldn't. Just like I was saying earlier, it would have been like, yeah, well, we got this for your birthday, but it's not here yet. So we decided to not do that and hold off. We have this other thing. So you're going to get it for Christmas, probably.
You literally just said that you don't like it when people do that.
That's why we didn't do it to you.
You just did it to me.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, it'll be right on time for Christmas.
In fact, the only thing you did was the part you don't like. Which is to say, we were going to get you something, but we didn't.
No. I'm just telling you right now.
Man, this is a spectrum of gift giving here today on the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for the Sprecher variety pack.
Sprecher G. Deutsch.
I don't think that's right. It's kosher, handcrafted, gluten-free, caffeine-free, and award-winning.
And I'm checked on all that to be sure before I bought it.
I almost had you on the expired thing.
Yeah, you did.
It's like his face. Oh man, after the show, go back and watch his face.
You're gonna live like a queen now. You're gonna walk into the White House press room, just down in orange cream and cream sodas left and right because you got so many of them.
With Gary food on my hand.
One hand with a root beer, the other hand in a puppet. Like, oh man, this
What
lady.
a scoop! What a drink!
She came to rock. Going on her first. Then
thank you
Caitlin
to everybody who has been wishing me happy birthday on the YouTube live. If you want to get me a gift for my birthday, come subscribe to the Annie Fry Show. We're very close to 12,000 subscribers, like 230 people that we need to come subscribe, and we'll hit that 12,000 mark. The YouTube live chat poll: will you dye Easter eggs this weekend? Ryan was a surprising yes, because it's happening right now without him. You guys, I think I saw your wife say that she is going to hard boil eggs.
My wife?
But not dye them.
Yes,
Brad doesn't
that is correct.
I don't know the answer to this, but I'm going to say yes and hope that we do, because it's a fun thing to do with kids. It's messy, but it's fun, and it's a good memory. So I'm going to vote yes. We had 250 votes in today's poll. 78% of you said no. 22% of you are going to still manage the high egg prices and dye those eggs. Happy Good Friday. Happy Easter. He is risen. Mark Reardon up next.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me, I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting, and the pain literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store. Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Experience the exhilarating atmosphere of a Cardinals game. Join the sea of red in the wave around the stadium. Feel the rush of excitement as a home run lights up the sky with fireworks, bringing the whole ballpark to their feet. Nothing beats the thrill of watching the Cards get the W with the final out at the plate. It's more than a game. It's an experience. Visit Cardinals.com for tickets and info. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
There is no better way to enjoy America's favorite pastime than cheering on the Cardinals with your family at Busch Stadium. From the thrill of watching the game to kid-friendly activities, food, and fun, the ballpark has it all. Make magical memories as you cheer together for every home run, double play, and Cards win. Your family summer tradition starts here at Busch Stadium. Grab your tickets today at Cardinals.com.